Okay, so I need to... Okay, that's going to be interesting. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Okay, don't worry. I think we're fine. I think we're just going to start. We're going to start the stream. We're going to start the show. And I think it's going to work out. So let's do that. Let's go and start the show and the stream and everything else and make the things work out. Shall we do that? Very exciting stuff, folks. Very exciting stuff. We've got some people joining us tonight. I think this will be a fun one this evening, especially if you like golf. If you don't like golf, well, I think it still could be a lot of fun. We love talking about all sorts of stuff during our golf podcasts. So let's not waste any time. Let's do the thing. We're doing the thing. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Hey, all right. I just got home, y'all. I just got home. So it's nice to be here. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Hello. My name is Dave Medina. You also know me as Davey's Eating a Sandwich on TikTok, and Instagram, and YouTube, and Twitch right here, where we are hosting another edition of The Sandwich Show. And on this night tonight, we're going to talk about golf. This is Joe Jonas 33, aka Hot Scout. What's going on? It's good to see you tonight. We are talking about golf this evening with some good friends of mine, and they are John in Connecticut, Mike in North Jersey, and I believe at some point Seattle may join us as well. I'm not exactly sure of that, but should be a really good time. I do want to thank all of you for your incredible support in the last 2 weeks. I mean, it's kind of amazing to think about, like, you know, all the people who've been on these streams, whether it was piano or whether it was just chatting, or whether it was food, or whether it was sports, or whatever we've been doing. Thank you so much, everybody, for being a part of this experience. It really means a lot. We've had some incredible raids too, so it's really cool to see that. I'll make a quick note for those of you, especially those of you who are listening on Spotify and so on. We have a birthday stream tomorrow, so I'll be celebrating my birthday, for which the exact age I will not specify, but I'll be celebrating my birthday tomorrow. The projected time for the birthday stream on Twitch will be 8 o'clock Eastern time, so we'll be there live. Twitch.tv/Davey's Eating a Sandwich if you want to catch us there. But yeah, Hopscale, how you doing? How's everything going? Hope you're doing well. Did you end up going to Bork Avenue? Or Bork's? Yeah, I know you were talking about that over the weekend. There is an actual Bork Avenue in Central New York, y'all. It's very exciting. I was actually extremely interested to know whether it happened. And our friend writes, I was thinking something so funny. If I had money, I would have gotten a photo stick, figure of you, and a picture with a Bork Street. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. I'm all about it. Well, that's really great. Really nice of you to stop by to check in on and update me on that. That's really cool. Thank you so much for stopping by just to mention that. And feel free to hang out with us some more the rest of the show. Should be a fun one. But yeah, I would have been dying laughing if you were able to put that together. But I still love it. Not yet. It'll be in there. Oh, in June. Okay. Cool. Up later in June. Okay. Well, let me tell you, Mrs. Joe Jonas, I hope one day, is Joe Jonas like the Jonas brother Joe Jonas? Like the one from the music duo Jonas Brothers? Like that? That's pretty awesome, Hopscale, actually. That's kind of neat. Nice! I love your forward thinking. I really do. That's really good forward thinking. That's really great. Well, that's phenomenal. I appreciate you being a part of this tonight. Definitely keep us posted over on Discord or here, or even if you have an Instagram, let me know on Instagram too. And anybody else who's with us tonight and watching in our chat live, you can go to our Sophie Turner is so lucky. Oh, I hear it. Those guys are cool guys. Yeah, those guys are cool guys. Not gonna lie, the Jonas Brothers are pretty cool. So anyway, yeah, thanks for hanging out. We'll keep the stream going a little bit just to give you a few nuggets as far as what's going to happen on tomorrow's stream. But tonight we're going to talk some golf, and we have 3 folks already ready to join the party with us. I do need to update the scenes in the Twitch side, so give me a moment while I do that. But first, I think I'd like to say hello to our panel. We have some really good stuff to talk about with golf tonight. The PGA Championship was won by Brooks Koepka, who now plays for the Live Tour, which is an alternate tour that was started in. There's a long story behind it for those of you who are joining us for golf for the first time on this channel. Mike can probably get into some of that, but the long story is short is it's the competing. There's some association with the Saudi Arabian government, and it's got a couple of big names, and Brooks Koepka is one of them. He had a great tournament. He did really well on Saturday, which is crazy because the weather was awful. Sunday he just picked it up and kept it going, and so it was a really good tournament. Viktor Hovland did very well for himself until the 16th hole where he hit the lip of the bunker, and not to be for Viktor Hovland, but definitely a great effort and a lot of great efforts all around. So let's go ahead and introduce you to our panel. We have John and Mike. Mike, I'm gonna go to you first. Welcome to the show. How's it going? It's good to do this again with you. Oh, hold the phone.
Doing well, Dave. I'm still trying to dry off from Saturday at the PGA Championship because, tell you got more soaked that day than you would if you ventured through a breakfast bus thread in circa 2012. So,
I know it.
Still had a good time, but yeah. I'll get into that a little bit more later on. It was a slog, to say the least. Trudging around out there in the rain in Rochester.
Oh, absolutely. It was really wild stuff. And let's say hello to our other guest tonight, our good friend John in Connecticut. Welcome back, John. How's it going tonight?
What's going on, guys? That's awesome, Mike. You got to go to a major. I have yet to go to a major, so that's on my bucket list to do, wherever that may be. We have our little travelers event right down the road here that I go to, but I mean, nothing can compare to a major tournament. So, good job by you going even in the, driving rain on Saturday. Lots of alcohol would have been consumed for sure to try to get through that day. But Dave, I mean, you came on saying Brooks Koepka won. Like, didn't Michael Block win the tournament? Like, I don't understand. Like, Brooks Koepka actually won.
That is funny. Oh, that is funny. They cut to him so many times, right?
You would have known it from some of the coverage that you saw.
I know, right? Oh gosh, but I do have to give. I don't want to tweak that too much though, because it is a great story. To be fair to Michael Block, like that's a cool story, being a tour pro, and then getting into the mix and even finishing and making the cut and getting to the final round, and even being within the first. I couldn't say maybe the first top 20 finish. I think it was. It's pretty good. Mike can. And then he's gonna get to Valhalla next year when they are over there in Kentucky, so that's cool. But you're right, they cut him a lot. They even went to like a live look-in, and like he was even doing an interview while he was like about to do a chip shot from like whatever role it was on Saturday. It's kind of nuts. But Mike, let's go to you.
It was a great story. Yeah. They just like beat it was like beating a dead horse like at that point. Towards the end of it, it was a little much. It was almost like they were looking for reasons not to show Brooks Koepka's shots, because like he's part of the Live Tour. But Block actually got a sponsor's exemption to play at the Colonial Tournament this week on the PGA Tour and the Canadian Open next month. So I'm going to try to find a prop for his score this week and hammer the over, because he's going to finish possibly dead last. That's my guess. No offense to him, but he's not going to do well again.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not arguing that, because like I think the world. Oh, we flipped spaces. I'm sorry. Let me go flip this around. I think I know what this is, because you are over here. Oh gosh, that's crazy. Don't worry about that right now, fellas. Like it's all on the Twitch side. I'll figure it out. Andy, are you with us at the moment? Andy, have you joined us, Andy?
I'm here.
Hey, Andy, how's it going tonight?
Behind schedule, but I just wanted to join just to basically hear what the real experts have to say, and I might have some 12 cents thoughts down the road, but I didn't get to watch too much.
Beautiful.
I know Mike was there, and I know John was on top of it. So
how did you find out about the 12 cent situation?
What do you mean?
How did you find out about the 12 cent scenario?
It's 12.
That's great.
I don't. What do you? it's what do you? I don't get it's inflate. I get it used to be 10 cents, but now it's 12 cents because of inflation. No.
Yeah, maybe. I'll give you that, Andy. Welcome back. It's good to see you. Let's go back to Mike for a second. I've still got some things to work out on my end over here, so I'm going to take care of that in a second. But, Mike, tell us a little bit about how things were going for our friend Brooks Koepka. As mentioned, it's actually a pretty significant win because he's now on the LIV Tour, so it's kind of a feather in the cap for them. And actually, a few people from the LIV Tour did okay. Like, I thought Bryson DeChambeau actually did okay. Like, he had a decent round too. Let's get your thoughts on Koepka's though, and how he came through and got it done, and especially in the weather. And then, by the way, Mike, I did want to comment on that too. There's a great job of you getting out there, even if it's rainy. It's all about me scenario, but the weather was not good when I was at the U.S. Open in 2012 with my dad in San Francisco. It was not a fun. Weather-wise, it was not great either. But it's still worth it to be at a major, So I love this. I love the spot for you, my friend. So yeah, let's get your thoughts on the Koepka scenario.
Well, before we get into anything about him being a LIV player, we should stop and reflect on what a momentous achievement 5 majors is for a player. Only 20 guys have ever done it all time. I think actually most of those came prior to World War II with a lot of guys winning a ton of British Opens back in the day and whatnot. So, that's really that's a high hurdle to get to, because since that whole like Nicklaus, Trevino, Watson era ended, you're only talking about Seve, Faldo, Phil, and Tiger. That's it. That's who he's with right now. So he's, and I guess this ties into the LIV a little bit. He's put himself in this rarefied air historically, and he's only 33 years old. When he won his 4th major, which was the 2019 PGA Championship, I think we all thought the sky was the limit there. But then he had a lot of injury problems, and we touched on this, of course, in our last podcast because of his role in the Masters. But what really came out between the Full Swing documentary and now the stuff with his people talking more often was actually how severe this knee injury was, that he wasn't really able to get back to 100% for a couple of years. And now it seems like he's there. He looks like the old Brooks Koepka, this just absolute stone-faced assassin who, in the moment is going to keep himself composed. He's not going to make any big mistakes. The mistakes he does make, he knows how to mitigate them. And just that attitude, it just reverberates off of him. This, I'm better than everyone else here. And the harder it gets and the more pressure that gets ramped up, it's the fewer people that I have to beat. And, if he can stay healthy, and I think that's a pretty big if on the nature of modern golf with the explosive swings, how big he is, he's always going to be putting himself at risk a little bit for injury. But, he's got a chance to do some stuff here over these next 5 years, between now and the time that he's 38. He wins 2 more. He's tied with Arnold Palmer. And then you're really talking about someone who could be bursting into the top 10 of all time. Now, he's a strange person to analyze just because he has so little success relatively outside of the majors. What does he have? Like 9 total career PGA Tour wins. He's got a couple LIV Tour wins. I think he has a Challenge Tour win or so, and maybe a couple European Tour wins. That's it. Faldo and Seve had very few PGA Tour wins, but the thing was that was because they played full-time on the European Tour. Both of them won pretty prolifically out in Europe. Although Faldo, if you look at actually, I believe, if you look at his stretch of winning majors, a lot of his regular wins were before that started happening, and he didn't necessarily win all that much like you would expect for a 6-major winner while he was winning majors. So maybe that's the closest comparison. Although in terms of how they play, they're absolutely nothing alike. But yeah, that part's a little hard to decipher. I mean, does he really just not, give a crap during the regular events? I guess to some extent. But just really an example here where, a guy set himself apart again. And as for the Live Tour, like I've alluded to in the past here, there's so many moving parts here that it's very hard to analyze what's going to happen with Live, where it's going. But listen, this is obviously a huge feather in their cap now, and they took at the time what was maybe considered a bit of and offered Brooks Koepka north of $100 million to join, and now he's the Brooks Koepka of old again, and he looks like he's the best player in the world. Maybe Scheffler and Rahm on a given day can compete with him, but just in terms of where he is with his resume, even if you want to say that those two at their best are as good as him, he's got a better resume. He's got 5 majors. So that's a big feather in their cap right now. You can say that the guy is over there. So, I mean, I don't know how many eyeballs that will ultimately draw to the set, and but whatever, that's besides the point. They have the top dog, so smart move by them. You do wonder if Koepka would have gone, because he did flat out say in one of his press conferences that, if I knew I was healthy, it would have been at least a much tougher decision. So I think maybe he's tipping his hand a little bit there, but that's neither here nor there. That's where he is. So just a great job by him. If you want to just get into a couple quick things about the round, obviously the 3 birdies in succession on 2, 3, and 4, where he just fired darts at the pin. He came out, gave himself the breathing room, but I think there were a few critical moments here where he was able to keep it together. One was that second shot on 6 after the penalty drop. He is on the right side of the creek. He's playing with his ball well above his feet. He has to hit a fade off of a hook lie. That ball easily could have gone into the creek on the left side there, and he could have made double or triple bogey. Instead, he hits the third shot after the penalty drop onto the green, gets out of there with bogey. On 11, his ball on the par 3 is straight up against the lip of the bunker. He easily could have left that bunker shot in the bunker and made double on that hole. He doesn't. He is able to splash it out of like a half fried egg lie, get away with bogey. And then on 12, he makes like a pretty daring second shot right over the corner of a bunker into a pin that's tucked towards the bunker on the left side, makes birdie. Then on 13, he screws up that third shot. It spins back off the green. He putts it up. He hits it way past, but he's able to sink the putt for par. And then he comes back on 14, hits that sky-high draw off the tee that's able to land softly, and he makes birdie. So just a good example. He threw darts when he needed to throw darts, and he remained steady when he needed to remain steady, and he was able to bounce back. He didn't let the momentum really get going in the other way, even as Hovland played a solid round behind them before getting stymied on the 16th hole. So incredible job by Brooks Koepka. He's turned back the clock, and you know what? Now it feels for him a lot like it did 4 years ago when he was coming off that big win at Bethpage Black at the PGA Championship.
Yeah, I hear that. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, I'm happy for him in that regard, because like he'd come close a few times too. So, in the years leading up to this little dry spell he's been having, Mike. So, yeah, I mean, I'll tip the cap for sure. To John we go. Let's get your thoughts. Anything you want to add as far as Brooks Koepka?
Yeah, I mean, we saw the Brooks of old, as Mike was alluding to. I mean, when he was at the top of his game, 4 or 5 years ago, he'd come into the major week like he'd be the guy to beat. He'd be the favorite, and he like embraced that kind of pressure to go out there and know that he was the top guy in the leaderboard, and he doesn't phase away from the pressure. And it was really interesting. Like after the round on, I believe it was Saturday, he just had that amazing 4-under round in the conditions where no one was really doing anything. I think there were only about 4 or 5 guys under par the entire day. And he's talking with Amanda, and she's like, "Well, what did you learn from the Masters?" He's like, "Well, this is never gonna that is never gonna happen again. What happened at the Masters?" So I don't know whether it was just a mindset of him to play more aggressively, or I don't think it was anything to do with his swing, because his game is clearly where it needs to be in terms of his his short game, and his approach stats are just phenomenal. I mean, that's always what he's been good at. But I mean, of course, the distance off the tee, but just maybe his mental approach to the final round at the Masters was very different than what he had here, and you can kind of almost see it. With the hot start when he birdied the 2, 3, and 4, and really extend his lead even more. And he gave himself a little bit of breathing room where he could still be okay, and was able to rebound as Mike alluded to during the round. So, yeah, we kind of saw this, kind of saw the page turning for him at Augusta. Like last year, he was just, I remember picking him at the Masters last year. He was just a disaster. Like he just mentally, he was just, you even saw it in his full swing episode. He was just a complete wreck, and he wasn't healthy, and that just led him to go into the Live Tour. And, he had that surgery that I guess they said he was very close to not even playing, like almost career ending, his knee injury. And obviously he was able to recover from that. And yeah, huge feather in their cap to have the guy with the most majors of really any active player at this point. I mean, you can call Tiger an active player, but the guys that play a majority of the tournaments a year, or majority of the majors a year. I mean, he's got the most majors out of all of them. Obviously, he's a little older than Rahm and Scheffler and those guys, and they have a ways to go. But still, he's the top guy at the moment. When you come into a major, I mean, he'll be the favorite or one of the favorites next month at the U.S. Open, without a doubt. And yeah, 5 majors. I mean, you can't get much better than that. I mean, the guy is when he's on his game, he's just a tremendous player. So yeah, we'll see if he can keep the form going. If he plays like this again, I don't see any reason why he won't be in contention again the last two majors of the year. And he just has that mentality that separates him from some of these other golfers, where when he gets in contention, he's going to close the deal more often than not.
Yeah, this is definitely a turn back the clock scenario for Mr. Koepka, wasn't it? Like, pretty neat stuff. So let's go to Andy. Anything you want to add as far as Koepka? He's muted.
Yeah, as I was saying, he's a pretty good golfer. He's not bad. He's got that dog. He's got that dog in him.
Yeah,
but he's tough to wrap your arms around him, but you don't wrap your arms around every golfer anyway. Like, you could wrap all your arms around Ricky Fowler if you want. You could wrap all your arms around Xander Schauffele. You could wrap all your arms around the guy that played with Rory. I'm sure we'll talk about it. That's actually a cool story. I'm afraid eventually people are going to get sick of him, or he's going to get the Ken Bone, Sergio Dip treatment, because he's getting like almost too much of a following. But you could wrap your arms around him. Everyone likes to wrap their arms around Rory, but Rory doesn't have what Koepka has. And we can talk about Liv later if you want, but Koepka's got that. What is it? Tunnel vision? Is it? He blocks the noise out. He wants to kill you out there. Rahm's kind of similar too. Rahm, I think, gets a little angrier than Koepka, and maybe his emotions get the best out of him. Like, Koepka doesn't bang microphones with his driver, and he doesn't snap at the cameraman like Rahm does. But John mentioned it earlier, like, one of the big takeaways was that round 3, when no one was posting anything remotely low, and he had such an outlier of a -4. Also, in the first round, I think he posted a +1. A lot of golfers in a major, if they are 6 shots back, I think he was 6 shots back after round 1, like, they have no chance. But a guy like Koepka can hang in there, and you do what you do on Saturday, get yourself on the the last group out there on Sunday, you can bring it home. I don't know if he actually hated Bryson DeChambeau, or if that was all just for giggles or whatever, but again, a weaker character getting paired up with someone like Bryson, that could have derailed someone like someone that's not like Koepka, or maybe he learned not to let little piddly things get to him. Like he admitted playing behind Cantlay at Augusta 6 weeks ago affected him. So he can, most of the time, he can block the noise out. And then, as Mike alluded to, the birdie after the bogey. I think it was either 12 or 13. Mike just said it, but I forget. I'm wicked tired. But he had to match because Hovland knocked it a little closer. Koepka's shot was basically he putted from the fringe, and Nance called it. He was like, "This is one of those momentum retaining putts that Koepka of the past is known for making," and he made it. And Hovland matched his birdie from much closer distance. And yeah, he's 14-1 as of yesterday for U.S. Open. I actually think that's pretty good value still. Because I think LA Country Club North is going to be a very tough course. And we know Koepka has proven time and time again now, injuries notwithstanding, live player notwithstanding, that he is a horse for tough courses. As Mike mentioned, yeah, like I'm sorry, he might not win as many Canadian Opens and Wells Fargo's and whatever event next week is in Texas, because I get Schwab and Byron confused. But yeah, he might not win those. He might not win as many FedEx Cup as Rory. He might not win as many, Honda Classics as someone less of his ability. He's not going to win Safeway Open like Brandon Steele. But he's going to win the majors, and he's got 5 of them, and not many players have 5 of them. We're still waiting for Ricky Fowler to win that first one, but I guarantee you, he wins one, they're going to come in bunches. People still think that. But yeah, you get my point. Mm-hmm. Koepka's got balls. And again, he's not like he's no Day at the Beach to root for, and his wife is annoying as hell, but I mean, again, nice guys don't always win the golf tournament. Sometimes you have to be you got to be an ordinary prick. So good for Koepka.
Yeah, that's true. You got plenty of heels. Is my audio coming in okay now, Mike? Is it still kind of crackling? Okay, very good. Just to repeat just some of the points though, but I'm with you on that, Andy. So let's continue the coverage into the rest of the field at Oak Hill, which, honestly, it's a very, very nice course. It's a really, really interesting how the weather had just completely borked the entire field. Really, there was maybe 1 or 2 people who finished under par, and I think Koepka was one of them. And even Peters had a good start early in Saturday, and then he ended up finishing either at par or over par even. So it's kind of it was really a rough day. It's just to come back from that and have everybody scoring so well the next day was kind of neat. So let's go back to Mike and talk about some of the other contenders. I mean, Hovland, I like I said, I think that was a pretty good performance on his end. But who are some of the other guys near the top that you want to cast a spotlight on, Mike?
Dave, before I get into that, I just want to quickly touch on one point Andy made because it was a good one. The whole thing about the pace of play and how Koepka had a lot of problems with that at the Masters. Ian Baker Finch, I think it was, brought up a very good point during the broadcast. And he noticed that Koepka was really taking his time on the 2-foot putts and lining up putts and whatnot, so that he did not end up having to rush off to the next hole and then wait behind a group. So he sort of played in a way that he was, when it was his shot, he was there. He was quick, like he normally is. But he was a little bit deliberate with some stuff in order to avoid being unnecessarily burdened with the pace of play. So again, that goes to show you, he's a witty guy. He knows what he's doing out there, and he knows how to make adjustments in order to maximize his chance at success. In terms of some other players, Viktor Hovland, this is the 3rd straight major he's been in contention. This is the 3rd straight top 10, and obviously, if he's in contention, they were not backdoor top tens. What I think is most encouraging about this performance is that he's finally starting to show some variety and some success with his shots around the green. He was completely one-dimensional with that before, and despite his very good ball striking, if you're one-dimensional with those types of shots in a major championship, you're not going to win them just because the way they're set up, you're going to miss more greens than you're going to miss in a regular tour event, and your recoveries are going to be trickier. So you got to be able to do a few things around there in order to win. But it seems like what he's worked on, where he's going with that, he's going to be okay. So good job by him. The first major for him is coming, and I think it's coming in a relatively short fashion. So if you're any betting people out there, I would just maybe take him each major going on the rest of the year and see how that works out for you. Some other guys, DeChambeau, like, look, this performance came absolutely out of nowhere. He's been doing nothing at all on the LIV Tour. He's at the bottom of the field in that, and we know that, look, LIV got some very good top-end guys, but if you look at their ranks, a lot of players out there are past it, to say the least, and DeChambeau is getting his rear end kicked by those guys. But found something this week. He has really slimmed down again, and I don't want to allude to anything he may have been doing, but he got big really quickly, then he got a lot of injuries, and now he's lost most of that muscle mass. So I don't know, take that evidence for what you want to take it for. I don't know, not saying anything, not making any accusations, just pointing out changes in him. But yeah, like, he still has a very good amount of speed. He always had like underrated power before he really bulked up, but the thing was, his strategy was he had two driver swings. One was control, one was to really crank it out there. And yeah, nowadays, even with him slimmed down, he pretty much goes for the power drivers the whole time. So he still has plenty of power. With this performance, I think we'll be hearing from him again. Some other guys, Corey Connors had it to 7 under late in the day on Saturday, and he was undone by the same bunker that did in Viktor Hovland, the bunker on the 16th hole, embedding the ball. And it's funny, they had Andrew Green on live from leading into this tournament. Andrew Green is the guy he's a golf architect. He's the one who did the restoration of Oak Hill. And one of the things they were talking about was, well, these bunkers, a lot of them have really severe edges. He's like, well, and I think it was either Chambly or Faxon who asked him, well, if there's an incident here where, someone gets stymied by one of these and there's criticism, what are you going to say? And he sort of just shrugged his shoulders. He's like, look, bunkers are hazards. They're supposed to be hazards. And, I think he's got a point. The bunker play today is just so good. If you get up against the lip or whatnot, well, don't hit it in the bunker. So I'm not going to say that what happened to those guys was unfair or anything. Scheffler fell victim to the infamous Vidmush, along with the 2012 Vancouver Canucks and basically half of the college football teams in the country in 2012. Another victim. No, listen, it just goes to show you the nature of golf. It's a difficult sport. If you're a little bit off for just, 2 hours during your tournament, that can be all she wrote for you, and fell too far behind. Now, granted, look, I was there Saturday. By the time he teed off, those conditions were absolutely horrendous. I saw like no less than 5 players try to hit out of the rough on Saturday where they went less than 100 yards. They just couldn't. It was so thick and so wet that you just couldn't advance it very far. So, look, it's difficult conditions. I'm surprised he didn't manage them a little bit better. Of course, he came back and played a good round Sunday to get a T2. I mean, I would just bet Scheffler top 5 every single major going forward until something changes, because it seems like that's almost a lock at this point. So more coming for him. Would not be surprised at all if it's next month at LA Country Club. So yeah, he continues his trajectory towards being, really sort of establishing himself. He only has one major, but there's going to be a couple more, I think, in short order, barring injury. Anyone else really? You know what? I guess I will say this because I got to see it in person. Seeing Phil Mickelson in person nowadays is absolutely eerie. And you really do get these Hollywood Hulk Hogan vibes. He comes up, it is pouring rain. I posted a video of it on Facebook a couple days ago. It is absolutely pouring rain. He's in all black. He's wearing his sunglasses for some reason. I don't know how he could see anything, but like I followed Phil a few times years ago, and the guy was always trying to make eye contact with everyone, giving people the thumbs up, acknowledging everyone, acting like no one is there, nobody exists. He's in his own little world, chomping on that energy gum nonstop, and it's just like, what in God's name happened? It really is Hollywood Hulk Hogan. If anyone out here was a wrestling when Hulk Hogan went to WCW, joined the NWO, became a bad guy, and I was like, oh my God, it really gives you that vibes, right down to the sunglasses and the little bit of stubble he has going on. It was an eerie thing to witness, a very eerie thing to witness. As for Michael Block, I'll quickly touch on him. Listen, great story, inspiring to see a guy that says he hits one bucket of balls a week go out there and play the PGA Championship. That being said, I saw a thing on the Golf Channel earlier, or no, not on the Golf Channel, on Twitter, that right now, Michael, he has better odds to win the Charles Schwab than Kevin Kisner. You know what? I'm going to go see if I can get a matchup on that, and I might put every cent I have on Kevin Kisner. It's a great story, but come on, like we know what happened here. That it's one of the magical things about golf, that someone that has a certain requisite level of ability can put it together for 72 holes, can do something like that. That's one of the enthralling things about the sport. But I mean, people got to use their noodles here if they're really going to go out and bet on him to win the Charles Schwab Classic. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And he's not more likely to win it than Kevin Kisner, who actually is a pretty damn good fit for that course because of how tight it is and how it's not really not lawn or anything. So, yeah, great story, but it's like everything these days. Everything gets run into the ground. Like I did see one thing. Let's give him a tour card for the rest of the year. Why? Why? No, it's a great story. It's nice. He deserves his moment in the sun. Seems like a good guy. He was very emotional, but then this, let's give him a tour card. No, we should not give him a tour card. There's a lot of really, really, really good golfers toiling away, busting their asses, who would wax this guy 9 out of 10 times. So, listen, great story. We'll keep an eye on him these next couple of weeks. It's nice that he gets to come back, and let's give him credit. He is a very good player. He won the PGA Professionals Championship this year, and this was the 5th time he's managed to qualify for the PGA Championship, which means he finished. I forget exactly what you have to finish to qualify out of it, but if you do that 5 times as a teaching pro, you know what? You can play a little bit. So good moment for him, but like I said, we don't need to give him a PGA Tour card. That's a little silly.
Wow, just recency bias going hog wild, folks. Let's say goodbye to Mrs. Joe Jonas 33. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Let us know how things go in Bork Street once you do get there. And then Stephen, friend, so good to see you again tonight. We're chatting golf with our friends. These are my IRL friends. This is John in Connecticut on the upper left, Andy in Seattle on the lower left, and on the lower right we have our friend Mike in North Jersey, who just had some really good points about about Michael Block. And it's easy to get sucked into that, and so I'm gonna give it to John. And John, let's get your thoughts on the rest of the field. And surely, as you mentioned, the saturation of coverage with Michael Block definitely hit a. It was almost as if he was one of the commentators during the coverage at one point during the weekend. So let's get your thoughts on the rest of the field too.
Yeah, I already had my Block thoughts earlier, but I'll say it again. Like, whatever prop they have up there for his score on Thursday, I'm going over, because it's like it's not going to happen again. Great guy, great story, but this is not. For him to be 400 to 1, he should be 1,000 to 1. to win the Charles Schwab Challenge this week. Completely agree with Mike. Yeah, as for the rest of the field, actually, one more thing. Like, if he could turn this into like a live tour invitation, it'd be the greatest like turnaround in like the history of golf. That's really what he should be angling for. Get that live money, and he won't have to charge less for lessons anymore. But yeah, I'll mention a couple other guys here. Completely agree on Viktor Hovland. He seems to be rounding into his own. He was like literally dead last on the PGA Tour in terms of around the green play, and he's turned that around for sure. And you've seen that improvement in the last few majors, like we've talked about, as he's finished in the top 10. And they weren't just like backdoor top 10s either. Like, he was in contention. I mean, he was in the final group with Rory at St. Andrews last year. And he was very much, I wouldn't say he was like a threat to win the Masters earlier this year, although he did, I think he was the first round leader, if I recall. But, he was right there. It wasn't like, if you look at this leaderboard, Cam Davis or Kurt Kitayama, who shoot like 6 under on the last round and they jump into the top 10 or top 3. That wasn't like this with Viktor. He had very much had a chance to win this, and I agree. I think it's almost like, remember when I believe it was 2014, Ricky Fowler had a top 5 in all 4 majors. It was like, oh, well, let's watch out for Ricky. He's gonna be the next big thing, and it just kind of never materialized. I think Viktor, he's going to get one here at some point. It may not be the next 2, but guaranteed within the next 5 years, we'll be talking about Viktor Hovland winning a major here on this program. Yeah, Scheffler. I mean, what can you say about this guy? Like, he's just, his floor is like top 12. Like, when he has a shitty week, he's tied for 12th. Like, the guy's unbelievable. His consistency with his irons, and just the way he strikes the ball. The one thing that gets him in trouble is his putter, and we've seen it when he kind of has some of these lulls in his play, and when he kind of drops down the leaderboard a little bit, he misses some short putts. He just can't get the speed right or the line right on the greens. He just doesn't have a feel for it, and that's when he shoots some of his bad scores. That was kind of where he was at on Saturday. He also really didn't hit the ball that well, which plays a role into it. Like, just, it's kind of a snowball effect, but you knew he was going to rebound on Sunday, and if not for that round, he's going to win the tournament for sure. So, but hey, that's why they play 4 rounds and not 3. But yeah, his floor is he's just so consistent. Again, a top 2. I agree with Mike. You bet him top 5, top 10 in every major, you're sitting pretty. Yeah, DeChambeau, like, there's comparisons of this course to like Winged Foot, just a really long, northeast course that you could almost, bomb and gouge, like the strategy. Although there was some more trouble on this course than I would say at Winged Foot. I mean, you had that lake on some of those holes and the creek that kind of intersects everything. So I'm not, really, really surprised that he did well at this particular course, because I think it fit in pretty well. We'll see what he does in upcoming majors, but this was a good fit for his style of play. So I mean, we'll just chalk it up to that. I guess we kind of have to give McIlroy a little credit just because he wasn't a complete disaster. I mean, he had his moments, finished in the top 10, much better than his performance at Augusta. But I mean, who would have thought, like, we've all said it, like when he wins his last major in 2014, he's sitting there with 4 majors. Here we are almost 10 years later, and a guy has passed him by in 5 years, with Koepka winning 5. So I don't know. We'll see what the rest of the year brings for Rory, but at least it was a little bit of an encouraging performance. A couple other guys like Terrell Hatton shoots 7 over in the first round and ends up like making his way into the top 15 with 3 under par rounds after that. So just guys like that, they're just like kicking themselves or having that poor of a round to start off, or they'd be like right in the tournament. But again, like, that's why they play 4 rounds and not 3. Corey Connors was having a pretty good week, as you guys mentioned, but that bunker was just too much for for him to overcome that double bogey. I'm interested to know, like, if Hovland was watching or any of the coverage or highlights, like, he took the same exact club that Connors did and just it, and it was like the exact same shot. I don't know if he was watching the coverage and didn't see what happened, or maybe his caddy could have told him something. I don't know. I mean, see if he gets up, if he just kind of wedges it out, and then he could possibly save par with a good wedge shot at that point. But I guess it is what it is. I guess that's all I'll mention from the top of the leaderboard. I mean, if we're going to go into like kind of our disappointments or surprises, there's a few. We have to mention though, Tom Kim taking a mud bath on Friday afternoon at about like almost 7 o'clock. It was the funniest thing I think all week. You know, the late ESPN coverage, and he's, you know, they show him hitting. He like fell into the mud. We haven't seen it. It's all over social media. And he comes out of it like he's like a mud man. Like he's covered in mud. And then he goes around the creek and like he's taking a bath to wash the mud off. And then he's taking off his shirt on the course. It was hilarious. And then they interview him after the round. And he doesn't realize he'd gone viral. His reaction to it is just priceless. He's just dying with laughter. So good moment for him with that, even though he did miss the cut. But it was pretty entertaining as the coverage wound itself down on Friday afternoon.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, just a lot of interesting stuff during this entire weekend, to be sure. John, before I go to Andy, I did want to mention a comment in our chat from Steeman Friend, who says that he loves, as a fellow Packer fan, I approve of one of these chat windows. I'm pretty sure it's yours.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Go Pack, go!
Love it. All right, so and by the way, we will do some football stuff during the year as well, Steven. So come on back. You know, if you ever see us in the fall, we'll get into all those scenarios. So Andy, are you watching the NBA game at all tonight, or are you kind of not?
Yeah, I'm watching the Lakers. I'm watching your Lakers, Dave.
Dude.
But I've been, I have the Lakers. Why do you ask?
Well, they're up 15 at halftime. What do you think there? Do you think they'll hang on to that?
I hope you don't mush it, but I mean, just as long as they win by 4, I'm all right. I took them because it's hard to sweep.
True.
Unless you're the Heat, because the Celtics are absolute gutless clowns. But I think LeBron's got enough pride of a lion inside him. Hopefully it works, and I know like Denver, it's hard to sweep. I mean, Denver has shown that they're much better than the Lakers so far, but I remember I don't know, someone's gonna have to look it up for me, but it was like it was a long time ago. It was like 2007 or whatever, and whoever the Spurs played in the Western Conference Finals, the Spurs were up 3-0, and I was in Vegas. It was like Memorial Day weekend or whatever, and I bet the Spurs thinking that they were gonna sweep because they had dominated the first 3 games of the series and they lost. Eddie, if maybe Eddie can look that up at some point, but I think it was obviously a Spur Cleveland final, but I forget who the Spurs played in the Western Conference final. Anyway, go Lakers tonight. But I was looking at my phone while John and Mike were talking about odds and gambling, and my site does not have Michael Block matchups, but I am piggybacking what both said. I will fade Michael Block this week at Chuck Schwab. And then I was looking at Scheffler. Scheffler's minus 350, or Scheffler's plus 350 on my site to win, which is just ridiculous. That is such a short odd. And then for top 10, he's minus 165, which is also just ridiculous. But you maybe just do top 5. I don't know. His what those guys just said about Scheffler is the bingo's bingo. You know, he's the fact that he was able to T2 and end up where he ended up, and he didn't even really have his best, game for those 4 days, but he's as steady as they come right now. And like John mentioned, if even when he's cold with the putter, he still does enough. He has some magic, as we saw last year when he was chipped from everywhere in the big events last year. But and I also agree with those guys. I think it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when for Viktor Hovland. I think he's going to win a major at some point. He's been tantalizingly close as of late, and he's won some big events. I mean, he won in the Middle East, and we joked about it earlier on the show. Like, Hovland was like, he's the king of winning events, like in beautiful islands and tropical areas with limited fields or whatever. But they are good fields, so he's good. He's no ding dong. He'll figure it out. The rest of the field, yeah, it was interesting to see Bryson up there. Parallels of Winged Foot with the Northeast. I agree with that as well. Xander, maybe Xander's too nice of a guy. I saw his wife, by the way, in San Diego. I was like, hey, how are you? But I was like, that's definitely Maya Shoffley with her friend. But yeah, he's starting to, like, we know how good he is, like, in the majors, but he hasn't won one yet, and I'm starting to get concerned. Well, not concerned, but like a little worry. I'm not his friend or anything, but like maybe he's just going to be destined to like be a perennial top 10, top 20, backdoor top 5 type of guy in these majors, because I don't know, something. He hasn't won a major yet. He came awfully close at Augusta a couple of years ago, and I think he hit it in the water on 16 when Hideki won. But I don't know. I expected a lot more out of Xander, to be honest, this week, and it didn't happen. The other thing that I got a kick out of this PGA Championship is seeing guys like our friend Tommy wouldn't know if he fell on him, but we all know him. Pablo Larrazabal was in the mix because he must have won he did win a DP Tour event earlier this year, so that's probably how he got into the field. And then Thorbjorn Olsen was in the event because he won a DP event. So it's always funny seeing some of these like older crop of Euro guys. I'm not talking about Robert McIntyre and the Højgaard brothers. I'm talking about the guys that we saw like early in the mornings, like 5 years ago on the Golf Channel, playing in these events in the majors. So yeah, it was a crazy tournament just because of the weather, and some of like Sammy Burns is a really good golfer, and I think he shot like 80 in round 1. So he didn't make the cut, and I think he was like plus 14 for the 2 days that he was playing out there. Just some nasty scores. Taylor Gooch, he came in, as hot can be winning these live events, but he wasn't ready for Oak Hills, obviously. Let's see, any other guys that were disappointing? Yeah, I would say John Rahm's performance was a little disappointing, because you expect so much out of Rahm lately. Let's see, what else? Yeah, what I'll say this about Rory, as John mentioned, like, we give him claps because he wasn't a complete disaster, but he was still +4 at some point on round 1, and like, and then he said that he didn't get a good night. He thought he got a good night's sleep, but his whoop was giving him bad signals. Like, Rory, stop talking. Just win a fucking major and be done with it. We all want Rory to win a couple more majors. But he's a good mouthpiece. He always has insightful things to say, and it's just, sometimes too much of a good thing can be detrimental. I think we're getting that with Rory. And is it going to surprise anyone late August when he wins like the FedEx and he's like, oh, this was a great year, but man, you sucked at Augusta. You didn't do as well as you thought you could do with the PGA. But he's got, we got the British Open and we got the U.S. Open. But now I'm already getting mad thinking about last year's British Open when he couldn't make a putt and Cam Smith took it. But, he's still a really good golfer. And about the weather, I know Mike was there, got the firsthand experience. You cannot have frost delay. It's just cannot have frost delay at one of your flagship events of the year. But it's the Northeast, so the Northeast in May is still fair game with some crazy weather. So I don't know. I know the traditional time in the calendar in August. Unfortunately, I don't think they're ever going to go back. Although we had some interesting ideas the last time we did this podcast, but yeah, I mean, I just feel like these Northeast tracks just can only be realistically played at either Ryder Cups or U.S. Open when you're in the second or third week in June, and cold weather is not going to be an issue, and obviously New England and the Northeast in September is always pretty nice. So yeah, with the PGA in May, like okay, just have the events in like Oklahoma and in the Southeast, I guess. But yeah, you're gonna have to reconsider these Northeast venues moving forward.
Well, I mean, some of them have so much history. I mean, Oak is a good example of that. But I completely understand where you're coming from on that, Andy. Let's go over and get some more surprises and disappointments. So let's start with Mike.
I guess before I get into that, Dave, I'll just touch on what Andy said about the Northeast venues. I think around where I'm from, the New York City metro, you wouldn't get a frost delay. That would be like an exceedingly odd day. But in terms of if you did get up further into New England, like if you wanted to play a PGA Championship at the Country Club, for instance, it could be dicey. And upstate New York is fucking cold. So it's definitely dicey up there. And then just quickly on the course, because I did get to walk around a little bit when I wasn't sinking through mud or getting soaked.
Right.
But going into the event, I think the course is completely different than it was, and they really did a good job on the restoration or the renovation / restoration, whatever you want to call it. And it definitely opened up the course a lot more because if you looked at like 03 and 2013, it was very tight, tons of trees, and it really favored a control player and sort of neutralized power. Didn't look like that at all when I was there. And if you look at who was on top, clearly that was the case. In terms of what the course reminded me of, so going in, I think the comparison was they were saying a mix between not Oak Hill, of course, a mix between Winged Foot and Bethpage Black. And really what the course reminded me of, that is a good comparison. The course was eerily similar to me to Ridgewood, where they had the Barclays, the FedEx Cup playoffs a couple times, a U.S. Amateur, just a slightly bolder version of Ridgewood, a little bit more aggressive with the bunkering around the greens, maybe a tiny bit more elevation change, but just in terms of, the topography of the place, sort of the layout, the way some trees mix in a little bit, very similar. Very, very similar, and a terrific job. But also that rough was no joke at all. I mean, they weren't messing around here at all. It was like the first thing I noticed when I walked in. I was like, whoa, all right, that's legit. Surprises, disappointments. You know what? I guess I'll just give you a couple of disappointments here. Jason Day. He's really been playing well this year. If you look at the underlying metrics on Data Golf, and again, shout out to John for that trick to get the live tournament stats after the tournament has ended. Thank you. If you look at like his Data Golf rankings, his performances and everything, he's really trending in the right direction. And of course, he won for the first time in 4 years at the Byron Nelson, obviously on a very easy course, but he's been playing well regardless. And he had nothing. He had absolutely nothing. I think it was 8 over, missed the cut, and that was it for him. And that's disappointing, I think. Another guy who I would say was a disappointment was Tony Finau. after so many years of being the guy who was perennially in the top 5, but not winning over like the last calendar year, he's really turned it on. I think he has 4, 5 wins in that time period. And I just felt that from what I was hearing about Oak Hill and from what I saw of it myself, that it seemed like it was a course that really, really would have suited his game. And look, he made the cut, but he finished in 72nd place. So, I think this was a place that would have suited him, but I don't know. We should still see more from him, but I expected more out of him this week. Anyone else surprise or disappointments? Adam Scott had kind of been trending in the right direction, and he didn't do anything this week. And at 42, you kind of feel like, all right, he's gotten his game back up to a pretty decent level recently, and maybe he's sort of trying to build himself up. Hey, one more chance to really make a run at something, but that was not the case this week. I thought, maybe he could have been an under the radar guy, but didn't get it done. Dustin Johnson, I don't know what to make of him. I really don't know what to make of him. I know he won on Live with Tulsa with that whole debacle with it getting pulled off the air right after Trump went on Truth Social and told everyone to go watch the Live tournament. They pulled it off the air. Apparently that won't be happening anymore, that they've worked out a deal where it'll stay on and you won't get reruns of the Goldbergs. But that being said, yeah, that's just, they've had such a good moment this week with Brooks Koepka. They did, because that was embarrassing. I mean, let's be honest. That makes you look like some. Would they even pull off like a high school state championship to show a rerun on the CW? I don't think so. Like that was not good. But anyway, getting back to my point, we know that Dustin Johnson has won on the Live Tour. But I don't know if he gives a shit anymore. When I saw him at the Masters, I was like, he's gained 25 pounds. He's significantly bigger. I don't know how much he's practicing anymore. And, he may have just decided, you know what? I got that second major. I got that off my back. I've won 20 times. He's already was worth 90 million or something apparently before he got the Live money. And he just, he might be, hey, you know what? I'm happy with where my life is. And you know what? If you have that much money, well, I guess you're entitled to do that. But I won't be, and he is a little bit older. He is, close to 40 years old. So that could be part of it too. But I won't be in a hurry to throw money on him until I see something from him at a major tournament going forward. So, anyone else? No, I think that's it. I guess there was one notable incident I'll bring up. Someone made a sarcastic comment about cheating to Patrick Reed, and his caddy, who is his brother-in-law, flipped off the fan. So, yeah, he still hasn't learned how to just, deal with it. And I don't know if he has PR people. I know he's filing frivolous lawsuits against people with one of the more notorious lawyers in America, but like I don't get it. At times that guy can actually say things that half make sense but he can't keep it together, and he's just a PR disaster. So yeah, that's all I got for you, Dave.
Well, it's a pretty good rundown. Thanks, Mike. Let's go over to John. Anything to add as far as surprises and disappointments?
No, not really. We did a good job covering most of them. I'll just add, like, I was on Dustin Johnson as well. Like, I picked the wrong Live guy for all the different pools. Like, I should have gone, obviously, Koepka instead of DJ. It was fool's gold him winning there in Tulsa. In front of the audience of who knows what, and I'm watching that on television. I tried to find it too, and then it got taken off the air. Then you have to scramble to the app. It's just horrible situation. If you're trying to find Live coverage. But yeah, I agree on Finau. Like, I was high on him too. Like, it was going to fit. This course was going to fit him. A long course that favors to guys who have a good approach game. Like, that's his jam right there. And he was just awful. I guess he just stick to winning, the Mexico Open and Rocket Mortgage Classic and those type of events. He just hasn't really moved up to that kind of next level of when he's going to be in contention. I know he did win a playoff event, but still, he has not really done well in terms of really contending in majors. And then one other guy, Sung J M, I saw a lot of people on him. He shot 80 in the first round. Just a horrific day one from him. And he ends up, obviously missing the cut easily at 13 over. So other than that, I really don't have anybody else in terms of like horrible disappointments. I mean, we touched on Rahm. First round was just brutal. He just didn't have it. And kudos to him. Like in the past, he would have like really probably thrown in the towel and just like said, fuck this, and just really not cared. But he grinded to make the cut, and he played the whole weekend. And then he gave some great analysis too on CBS. So he definitely has a future in that if his game ever goes to shit, and they need him to fill in as a commentator. He definitely has some good analysis. So good job out of him there. And yeah, the only really surprise I would say, I mean, we talked about the guys that kind of backdoored the way into the top five, but like Block was like really the only big surprise that like came out of nowhere, and they kept showing, over and over again over the weekend. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We did a good job here of covering the list.
Yeah, very nicely done, everybody. I mean, I don't know if you really want to get too deep into television coverage, but if any of you want to get into that, we can. Oh, wait, but let's go to Andy. Anything you want to add as far as the rest of the field? Anything else?
Just scrolling real quick. I was going to piggyback a thought on Mike's thoughts. Yeah, Adam Scott, a sneaky disappointment because he had been playing well. He was in contention the week before. I saw a tweet from like a good golf account on Twitter. I forget which one. There's so many of them, but like bet Adam Scott live now. This was like round one of the PGA because they were like, he actually swung it like a blind man the week before and almost won. Like he's getting it together, but he didn't. But he has such a beautiful swing. Him and Rory both have beautiful swings. Like it's shocking when he goes a little off kilter. So yeah, Adam Scott, sneaky disappointment. And then just to quickly expand on the enigma that is Dustin Johnson, like his aloofness has helped him, and then his aloofness plagues him. And me and a couple of buddies were in a very small one and done league where you pick one golfer, can't use them the rest of the year. But for the majors, we picked two. And then, we all took Brooks Koepka for the live because you get 4 chances basically to use the live guys. But we were all joking about DJ like leading up to Saturday's round in the rain, and we're all like, DJ is so checked out, like he's gonna give absolutely 0 fucks in this weather. And DJ was my other guy, and then the other guys that took Koepka had Xander. So basically, I was rooting for DJ, and the other guys rooting for Xander. I was like, DJ, I was like, you guys are probably right, but I'm hoping you got some fresh Coke to concentrate. And nope, no. He ballooned on that Saturday, and I think Mike's right. He does look like he packed on a few pounds. And yeah, no one's ever going to confuse his work ethic with Alex Noren hitting balls till he's got blisters on his hands. They all, like, I think it's like the No Laying Up account likes to always post a picture of DJ on the boat when when DJ's blowing up. And yeah, I think DJ he'd rather be fishing and on his boat sometimes than trying to win some of these golf tournaments. But he is blessed with talent, and he's made a hell of a lot of money. But yeah, the killer instinct. I mean, he doesn't possess it, probably because he hasn't had to have it, because he's just been so much more talented and gifted physically. Yeah, but he's not hitting balls till he got blisters in his hands. Like, nope. But yeah, I would. Yeah, lesson learned. Stay away from DJ sometimes in adverse conditions.
it's hard for me to tell when that happens. You know what I mean? Like, cause like sometimes you think DJ is gonna blow up, and then he actually ends up doing pretty decently. It's just I think this was a weekend where, you know, in the adverse conditions, I think that was kind of a good spot to fade him. But like again, sometimes you do that, and then it just kind of goes the other way. So it's kind of tough to read him these days. Obviously, he's not playing that well in general, and I just love the commentary. I think everybody's kind of gotten into that. It's a really interesting conversation. And Mike, I mean, you're welcome to get into this a little bit too. Did he ever have killer instinct? Do you think it's just always been the way he's played? Like, do you feel like that's come and gone? Like, what's your feeling with DJ's career?
You know, I think he got scarred pretty early on, when he burst onto the scene, because there was 2010 where he was up by a few going into the final round of the U.S. Open at Pebble Beach, and what did he shoot, 82 or something that round. Then to bookend that, he had that infamous the bunker at Whistling Straits on the 18th where he got the one-stroke penalty and fell out of for grounding his club, and then fell out of a playoff. Then the next year he was in pretty decent position at the 2011 Open Championship, which Darren Clark of all people won, and he fell apart in tough weather. But you know, I would guess it's almost something that he didn't have, because if you look at his amateur career, it's not like it was anything special. But the guy burst onto the scene, and you know, he said this incredible length, this ball flight, and yeah, I definitely think there is something to that. You know, he could not necessarily half-ass it, but he knew that, you know, he could give a certain percentage or work to a certain level, and it would be good enough to have really good results. But I don't know. You know, he's won 2 major championships. He had a long period where he was number 1 in the world, and he had some injuries, and I think he started to get better in terms of having a mindset on how to do things. I really think it changed when he was predominantly a draw player coming up, and he realized, you know what, I really got to hit a fade off the tee. Once he started hitting fades off the tees, and once he really made it a point to dial in his wedges, he got a lot better at that. I think that was a little bit of a shift for him. But you know, by the time he did that, he was getting towards his mid-30s. So yeah, I don't think he necessarily had a killer instinct. It got better. It was never great. And now we're at the point where, you know, he's going on 40, and he's like, yeah, so be it. So I guess that would be my take on him.
Well, I think that makes sense to me. I mean, John, anything you want to add as far as killer instinct with DJ's career?
No, I mean, he's been around a long time. I'll add another, like one of those, the heartbreaks is when he 3-putted on the final green against Jordan Spieth at the course in Seattle. I mean, that was brutal. So like he's had a lot of those moments where he easily could have 4 or 5 majors. I mean, he's still won 20 wins on the PGA Tour. I mean, you know, he's always kind of had like that, you know, kind of calm demeanor. Like he doesn't show a lot of emotion on the course. I mean, I don't know. Like we don't know what's going inside of him, but like I would say he's probably more maybe mentally tough than we give him credit for. But yeah, I mean, like I said, he easily could have won more majors, and he still might win a few more. But just the way his career is gone, you know, I think he's really gotten really a lot out of it, and it could have been much more, like I said. But yeah, in terms of like a killer instinct, I don't think he's any like more or less than any of the top players, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of gone back and forth on it too. Like, I don't think necessarily he's got like tiger killer instinct in his prime, but I also don't think he's Ricky Fowler, you know. So I feel like somewhere in the middle. I feel like he's somewhere in the middle of those two. So I think that's going to put the PGA Championship in the books. A solid tournament this year. I don't really want to get too deep into television coverage. I mean, there really just wasn't much to say. Like, I thought it was solid. Like, I thought the ESPN coverage was okay. I mean, maybe even better than okay. But Mike, if you do want to dabble in it, you feel free. Otherwise, go ahead. We can look ahead to what's coming up. We mentioned Charles Schwab. We've got some of the tournaments, and then obviously we're counting down to the Open. Just I'm sorry, yeah, the Open right here in LA Country Club is going to be pretty cool stuff. So the U.S. Open coming up in about a month. So, Mike, let's give it to you, and I'll give you the floor.
Yeah, nothing to really add about the television coverage. I was kind of moving around a lot the first 3 days. So on Sunday I was able to get back here, to where I live before the leaders teed off to watch. So I wasn't really, I had it on, but I was with people basically the entire time. So, volume was down. I was keeping an eye on it. So nothing to really add about the coverage because I'd be parachuting in, frankly. So it is what it is. Looking forward. So I'll give you one interesting thing to look at this week. We do have the Charles Schwab Classic. We'll get our plethora of Ben Hogan stories, no doubt. And, there it is a pretty good field. Scheffler's playing. So one interesting thing is that the senior PGA Championship is this week, and it's at PGA Frisco. Now, PGA Frisco in a few years is going to host the PGA Championship. It is basically a brand new course that I think Gil Hanse designed. And basically, the PGA built a complex of courses in their new headquarters in Frisco, Texas, and decided we're going to have a PGA Championship here. So people don't know that much about it. If you want to, get a sprinkling of what you'll be in for a few years on an unknown new entity, well, here's your chance. Colonial's a little interesting because they're going to do a pretty big restoration of Colonial actually after this year, I believe. So this will be like the last year of what the course is now. So, and Colonial always seems to produce exciting events. So it'll probably be worth tuning in for on Sunday. And then we actually are in a pretty good stretch here. So the Memorial Tournament, which Jack Nicklaus hosts at Muirfield Village, which is a great course and always a really good field, and it's a designated event. So you get tons of players. You get a quality course with a lot of risk reward and high drama opportunities throughout. So that'll be fun, as it always is. And then you have the Canadian Open preceding the U.S. Open by a week, and Canadian Open the last few years too would seem to produce a good amount of drama. So that'll be fun. And then we do have LA Country Club, also the North Course at LA Country Club, which is also a debut course on the major stage. It did host a U.S. Amateur a few years ago. Listen, it's really, really good. It's basically a coin flip between LACC and Riviera as to what the best course is in Los Angeles, and we know how good Riviera is. So to be able to say that LACC, it's a coin flip, that should give you an idea. Listen, I've never seen it in person, but from what I've seen in video games of it, and granted, it's a video game, but the course in video games, you do get a good idea of the topography and the shot values, much more so than you do purely from seeing it on TV. My thought of LACC is that it definitely has the land has more variety, there's more movement in it than there is at Riviera. Riviera might be a better result with what they had to work with, but it's a really good course, and it's going to be exciting. So don't know if you're going to be in the mix at all, Dave, but it should be fun around there with the influx of people, because the Rochester area was absolutely popping when I was out. Every bar was packed. TVs, all of them were on the PGA Championship coverage. The restaurants were packed. I think the PGA of America actually was having a private event like nearby a place where I was eating, because I saw a bunch of guys walking around in blazers and polos and looking like trying to look a lot more important than they probably actually are in the grand scheme of things. But it is what it is. I think we're all guilty of that at points throughout our life. But yeah, it should be a fun next month.
Absolutely. I am looking at tickets. Tickets currently are going for around $200, which it's a lot, but it's also kind of worth it. I don't know. Well, I'm gonna think about it. not terrible. I don't know how that would compare to what you paid, what it was going for the PGA, Mike, but
$310, Dave.
Oh, okay.
They were in high demand in Rochester.
Wow. Okay.
That's more than I paid to go to the U.S. Open, but granted, that was
Wow.
10 years ago now.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, that's why it's 12 cents instead of 10 cents now. I mean, everything is more.
Absolutely. Let's go to John. Let's get your look ahead to the schedule coming up. But definitely some good events on the way to the U.S. Open at LACC as well.
Yeah, a quick note. Brooks Koepka was at this Panthers Hurricanes game. They showed him in a Florida Panthers jersey, and the Panthers are winning 1-0. So as someone who has a future on them to win the cup, I hope they can close this out. And the Lakers blew that lead very quickly, Dave. I'm sorry.
Well,
this is ugly.
That's kind of the thing I was worried about, because the Lakers have been notorious for blowing halftime leads this year, and that's the thing. And so I was actually a little worried about that. So it is what it is. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Well, we'll see. The fourth quarter, LeBron might, go and put his magic cape on and save them. But Jokic, he's just unbelievable, this guy. But in any event, good next month of golf, really. Mike laid it out. The Schwab tournament here always has an entertaining finish. It's a good field. You would think usually the week after a major, it's not a really good field, but especially for a non-designated event too, the way they have this structured. But I think maybe the course kind of draws these guys in. So yeah, good field here. Obviously, the Memorial is going to be a great field with it's designated, and of course the Jack Nicklaus factor. The Canadian Open is at a new course this year. I don't think they've ever played at this Oakville Country Club, so that'll be interesting to check it out. And it's a national Open. They'll have a decent field, and then obviously the U.S. Open, and then my event here, the Travelers, is a designated event, and like all the top guys have already committed to playing here. So you have like the next 5 weeks of golf are going to be really good, and then you get a couple breathers after the Travelers before we ramp up again in Scotland for that swing. But good next month of action here, and should be fun to follow. We only got really 2 months left of the golf season, which is crazy when you think about it. Well, 3 if you want to include August in the FedEx Cup, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. But 2 months of like major championship golf left, which is, man, where does the time go? I mean, Dave will be on here talking about Sunbelt football soon enough.
You're not kidding. It's coming. It's right around the corner. It's good. Exciting times. And you know what's really great about the college football season? I feel like we might have a little bit more parity than normal. I still think Georgia's going to be the team to beat, obviously, but the other 3 teams is kind of where I'm kind of curious about. Something we'll talk about later, but I don't know. We'll see. Anything you want to add, Andy, as far as what's coming up?
Yeah, I'll just chime in. I remember when Mike brought up the Frisco course a few years ago on one of these editions of the show, and he was like, the PGA wants to have a course to host a major. It's going to be in Frisco, Texas. It's coming up. That's kind of wild. And I talked to John about this offline. I always confuse Schwab with Nelson, because Byron Nelson's like a good golfer. So can we just Colonial, like, not have it called Charles Schwab, because I get the events always confused, and one event obviously is always traditionally better than the other, and it's Colonial. It's got a historic golf course, original Hogan's Alley, Colonial, and the Byron Nelson event just because Byron Nelson's an old ass really good golfer, but the field always sucks, so call it something else. Or Andy could just remember moving forward. But yeah, we are in the meat in the guts of this golf season. You know, it's funny. Like, I feel like the narrative of weak fields in for events after majors is almost diminished now at this point, and it's really the events the week before the majors are kind of caca. You know, years ago that Houston Open was always a strong field because the course kind of mimicked Augusta's greens, and then they lost their time slot, and now it's the Valero Open. But everyone loves going to Hilton Head after Augusta because it's fucking Hilton Head, and it's where else, it's a resort paradise, and it's a short trip from Augusta. And then John's event, everyone swears that it's a great event. Course is good. They get top players. Apparently, the hospitality for these guys is through the roof. So the fields after the U.S. Open have been traditionally good, getting stronger every year. And then now, as those guys mentioned, Cologne is a strong event, and it's on a legendary golf course. So, yeah, these fields that are strong, just embrace them while you can, because yeah, not a ton of golf left. We got the majors, Scottish Open, Jack's tournament, always plagued by thunderstorms because it's in Ohio in late June. And then you have the fucking lulls, Rocket Mortgage, Detroit, Minnesota, 3M, although maybe one of them's gone by now. But and then I read that Myrtle Beach is going to have an event next year. It's an opposite field event, so either I forget which week it's going to go head to head with, a world championship or something like that. But good for Myrtle Beach. Yeah, that's about it. It's a fun golf season. Yeah, Dave. I would try to go to LACC if I were you. And Mike's right. Like you get a good look on the video games. Speaking of video games, fuck EA Sports. Just bad timing buying a PS4, because I bought a PS4 during COVID, and then the new EA Sports golf game, which has better graphics than PGA 2K23, is only available for like PS5 and the newest Xbox. And the new college pigskin game, which is coming out this summer, is only available for PS5 and the new Xbox. And as much as I want to play that college football game, I'm not going to spend like the $500 for the new video game system when the PS4 is less than 3 years. I guess PS4s came out in 2013, so it's my fault for buying one in 2020 anyway. But I mean, why can't we have that game on PS4? It's not like PS4 is a fucking dinosaur.
And I can't really speak on. That's a really interesting point. I don't really know how long it's been out. I mean, PS5 barely came out compared to PS4, so that's a good question. Yeah, I mean, I would think that they could make that work too. Good call, Andy. So I think this is a pretty decent time to go to final thoughts. If you want to bring up anything else, feel free. But Mike, I'll give you the floor first for any final thoughts or anything else you want to get into.
I guess to make this a little bit all about myself, over the years when I've gone to golf tournaments, and I actually have not been to one in several years, I've had very good luck with the weather. I've been about it that I've been to like I think 11 or 12 rounds of golf events in like the last 10 years or so, and I really only had one that got affected by the weather before today. So I mean before the PGA Championship. So I did sit there in the rain, and I learned a valuable lesson that if you're going to be out in the rain for 6 hours, a raincoat alone is not going to suffice. You need the rain pants.
Oh wow!
You need an umbrella. And you probably need a poncho over all the rain. And also give you a hot take on this. People who bring umbrellas to golf tournaments, you should not be able to open them up if you're standing right against the ropes. That was really the biggest problem. I can deal with being wet. I can accept it. It is what it is. We've committed to a course of action at this point. Fuck it. We're going to live, right? But the worst thing, honestly, was it was so difficult to see things because you just had this wall of umbrellas up. The organizers have to do something about that. You can't have people right against the ropes with the umbrellas open. You want to stand right against the ropes? You know what? Put up your hood on your raincoat. Sorry. You should not ruin the spectator. I shouldn't say ruin, but it affects how you go around watching the tournament. So listen, if you're going to go to a golf tournament, anyone here who may be watching, and it's going to rain, you can't plan on following people. You got to like park yourself out at an area or two and wait for people to come by, and that's how you have to watch it. So that is what it is. But on the flip side, I've sort of been on this infamous streak. This was the third straight major where someone I have bet outright was leading the tournament on Saturday. And if I had Koepka. So finally, my luck has changed, because I would have been 3/4 of the way to the infamous Greg Norman Saturday Slam. And you know what I may have done? I may have bet a ton of units on someone to be the outright third round leader at the U.S. Open. And then, of course, I probably would have ended up picking the second round leader. So, yeah, I was able to get a decent chunk of change, made up for my horrendous roulette performance in Atlantic City, where the money just disappeared like that. You know, how does it roll black 5 out of 6 times and I'm playing on picking red every time?
Oh, that's roulette for you, Mike.
But no, it is what
zero
it is.
Where it's at. That's where you got to.
Yeah,
put your money.
Yeah, I got to
zero.
I got to change the strategy up. That's for sure. But yeah, my luck turned around a little bit. So, but listen, I was glad I went anyway. Like John alluded to, it's a major championship. I've been fortunate enough to be to 3 of them now. You know, I'm still in that Masters lottery every year. I'm just hoping one year that I get hey, you got X number of tickets to whatever round, even if it's a practice round. That's the I don't know if I'll ever realistically ever be able to make it to an Open Championship, and if I can't, so be it. But that's the holy grail, is to make it to a Masters. So we'll see. You know, one year I got a sorry, you did not win Masters tickets on my birthday, and I was like, you know, you gotta be kidding me.
I've gotten that too.
Yeah. Enough about that. So like, and I would say this: we're definitely headed for a interesting last 2 majors here. With where the game is, this whole Live PGA Tour thing, where Koepka is, where Scheffler is with his game. And then, of course, you know, I haven't talked about Rory, but we're going to a course where he won the Open Championship in 2014. So maybe that gives him some good vibes. But we've had a very strong year, and we're set up for a strong finish.
Dig it. Yeah, I really appreciate those comments, like especially the anecdotes about attending. You just don't even think about things like that. Of course, absolutely. Like, you open an umbrella at the ropes, you're blocking like 6 people from seeing anything. That's terrible. Terrible job out of those guys. Let's go over to John. Anything? And John, I did want to mention that, you know, you probably saw it on the telecast, but Josh Allen and Von Miller were in the mix in the field in the audience, which I think is pretty cool. See that Josh and Vaughn are both big golf guys, which is kind of neat. So they're kind of in their backyard, and so they went to see the event. But I am told they're going to go see some other big events, including potentially the U.S. Open. So if I did end up going, there's a non-zero chance I could end up meeting either or both of them. So that's kind of cool too. So, John, let's get your final thoughts and anything else you want to add as far as tonight.
Yeah, no, it was a great tournament. The course was fantastic. I thought just quickly on the coverage, I mean, you get, you know, from the first shot to the last putt every day is available with ESPN and ESPN Plus coverage, so you can't beat that. And it was, you know, Brooks was a well-deserved champion, and like everyone else said, we're set up for a great final 2 months of the major golf season, and it'll be interesting to see where we are here in the next month when we reconvene after the LA US Open. And you know, I would agree, Dave, if you have a chance to go to the major championship, spend the $200, even if it's just for one day. Obviously it'll be just for a 1-day ticket, just to go and do it, because it'll definitely be worth it.
Yeah, can't disagree with that. I mean, not only that, but then the allure of being able to go to LACC. There's no way I could go there as a there's no way I could go there as a civilian. I'd have to be attended, basically. There's no way I would ever be allowed to play there. So you have a really good point. It's like there's a lot going for it there. So Andy, any other thoughts you want to add as final thoughts?
Yeah, all about me. I was in San Diego, got back late last night. I thought I was coming back today, but I realized the flight was last night, so no excuse for making this podcast today. first world problem was like, why did it take me so long to visit San Diego? Great city. Didn't see UCH. I had a lot of, going to 2 Red Sox games and was with, my dad and half brother. So didn't have like all the time in the world to. I don't know where UCH lives. We were in the gas lamp district, but next time UCH, we'll see you. Great city. I mean, that city fucking snaps. Great city, Dave. You spend a lot of time in San Diego?
I do. I completely agree with everything you said. It's called them. I mean, there's a reason it's called one of America's finest city or something like that. Like it's
I'm
awesome.
going to a Vedder Cup. I'm going to a Mariner Padre game. Either Vedder Cup or Holiday Bowl. I'll be there, and I'll ditch my mom. I'll do it, because I'll be in Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to San Diego. I'm not gonna wait another 41 years to go there.
I love it.
Yeah. The other thing, I'm playing took too long. I do a 9-hole men's golf league on Tuesday nights. I know John does men's league, and I was always I was like, I don't want to do it. It's so stuffy, but I was wrong. Like maybe I just found the right club, but again, should have been playing in these golf leagues a lot earlier in life, but what are you gonna do? And then yes, echoing John and Mike's thoughts, Dave, get to LACC, even if it's a practice round, gotta go. Or if not, just go on like Thursday or Friday, and then you can watch the final rounds from the comforts of your home.
Yep.
Yeah, looking forward to LACC. Yeah. Love the prime time windows because West Coast, the networks will, try to get the most out of those late tee times over the weekend, Father's Day, Sunday. One last final thought. What was it? Golf. Yes. Like they're gonna have to figure it out at some point because next thing you know, it's gonna be September, and Zach Johnson better how can you leave Koepka off the Ryder Cup team? That's all I gotta say.
I mean, that might be pettiness. That's a good question. Yeah, you're right, Andy. Like you can't at this point. I mean, how could? Yeah, exactly. So, friends, fellas, this has been really fun. Thank you again, everyone, for hanging out. Good luck to all your action, whatever it may be, the rest of the playoffs too. If you have any, whatever and also your golf game, of course. Make sure hopefully that's going great. Pumped up that you got to finally see San Diego, Andy. That's awesome.
Yeah,
good
great
stuff.
City, great food,
great food,
walkable.
Yes,
so walkable.
Yes,
so walkable.
We could get in the tangent about Twitch because I was there for TwitchCon last fall. It was an amazing setup for TwitchCon. And I'm a little concerned that Vegas is not going to have that same feel because it's not walkable like San Diego. It's going to be a different scenario. I mean, you've been to both places now. Wouldn't you feel like there's a different vibe there?
Well, yeah, Vegas is like Vegas on paper. You're like, oh, one hotel to the next hotel is short with, and it's not a short walk. And I'm such an old cranky fuck at this point. I just want to stay. Like, if I'm staying at Aria, I'm staying. I'm like Bellagio is like as far as I go to basically. Just everything in close proximity.
Yeah.
Like that's a first world problem or whatever. But if I'm staying at Mandalay. Like, where Mandalay is, like, staying at Mandalay. That's because it's so south of the Strip to go anywhere else. You have to devote another 30 minutes of time, whatever. And you got kickoffs at 10 a.m.
Right. That's a huge point. Like, I think whenever I'm there, and when I'm there at that time of year, I'm absolutely staying at a place with a good sports book, or I'm staying near one, right? So, I want to mention something before, since you guys are all here. The Mirage is going to undergo quite a lot of transition. They're going to become
rock.
Yeah, they're going to be rock. And my concern is primarily with what are they going to do with that sports book, because it's favorites. It's like it's been really solid for so many years. What do you think?
I don't know. Christmas or Vegas vacation will never be the same.
I will say, last year I stayed at Paris for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So sure enough, I go down at like 8:30 on the Saturday that I'm there. Right, I'm gonna go put some bets in at the sports book. Little did I know, like they're doing renovations and like the sports book's not even open. Like they got two tellers and like a kiosk to put bets in. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I ended up having to walk like all the way over to Bellagio to sit for the day to watch the games. Like that was so annoying. So I hear what you guys are saying. Like I am definitely researching before I make my hotel choice. I mean, I know where the good sport, but if I'm staying somewhere like that, I'm not quite sure of. Researching the sports book for sure is definitely the move because you have your you want to do in the morning on Saturday and Sunday, and you want to be there for get your bets in before the kickoff. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Big point. All right. Well,
and then also, do you guys know where Tropicana is? How are they going to fit a baseball stadium there? Like I can't conceptualize it. It's just like they're gonna like tear down everything in that corner. Like I don't know.
I read they're gonna demolish. They're gonna demolish the Trop.
Oh, they're just taking the whole thing down.
I can't see it, but I guess they're going to.
It's crazy. They can make it work if they do. If they demolish the whole thing, God, that sucks. That's a piece of history right there. That's serious history. Like, wow. On the other hand,
progress. They call it progress in other parts, but right. I don't know. I
feel like I usually go there in September. I can catch a UNLV game on one night and then go see the Las Vegas A's, I guess, the next night. So it'll be good times.
It's just weird. The Raiders are gonna work in Las Vegas. The Golden Knights, and the A's. I couldn't tell you. I don't love the chances of the A's there. I'm just like, who's gonna be sit there and like the first thing I want to do is watch baseball.
It'll be all opposing fans though, Dave, coming in. That's how they're gonna fill the stadium.
Yeah.
And that's basically what the Raiders do now.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, I feel like Vegas with that stadium, it's all about the hotels are gonna win with all the occupancy rooms, the tourism, an orgy of tourism opportunities with the restaurants. No different with SoFi getting all the big events. Like SoFi in Las Vegas, whatever it's called now, Allegiant Stadium. Like they're monopolizing like Super Bowls and Final Fours and all the big conventions and the concerts. Where else do you want to travel sometimes besides Las Vegas?
True story.
And Dave, I'll jump in real quickly here. The Golden Knights have not slowed down at all. When that got announced, I was very questionable about it. And another hockey team in a non-traditional hockey market, well, we've seen how that worked. But yeah, it seems to be that there is a sports model in Vegas that people are always there. It's one of the tourist meccas of the world. And if you give them pro sports, the tourists are going to go to it. And it hasn't worn off yet with the Knights, and they've been there 5-6 years now. So, I guess there are some questions about baseball just in terms of, the climate and when it's played, but I'm sure they'll build an indoor stadium. But I think the A's will be all right.
Well, hopefully.
Bring the Arizona Coyotes to Hartford. That's my pitch.
That'd be
Bring
fun.
The Railers
there you
back.
go.
Bring them back.
Hartford Railers, the return. I love it. Not bad. That's actually, obviously anywhere than Glendale, I think is going to be the move. Or not even Glendale. At this point, it's Tempe, right? Like they're playing in the same stadium as Arizona State. It's kind of nuts when you really think about it.
It's a joke. They played in a 3,000-seat college arena.
Yeah.
Apparently, there were numerous complaints from the players to the Players Association being like, "This is absurd." And then there was this vote denying an arena plan last week. They're either going to go to Houston or Kansas City, I think. But who knows? Bettman's bent over backwards to keep them there for the last 15 years, and perhaps that won't change. But they're not. Unfortunately, they're not going to go to Hartford, and they probably won't go to Canada either, which is where they frankly should go, like Hamilton, Quebec, somewhere there. But
100%.
They'll go to another southern city.
It's annoying. And I kind of wondered that other arena, like the Glendale arena, seemed like a solid arena. Was it old or something? I had no idea. I never really been to it, so I had no idea how big it was.
The city threw them out.
They threw them out?
They threw them out.
Why?
No.
Just bad attendance?
Basically, they got evicted, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh, I didn't know that. That's crazy. Okay. Man, who knew? Well, anyway, that interesting note. Well, that's not a lot going on. Mike, I should mention that the Florida Panthers did win the game, so they're up 3-0 over Carolina. Kind of wild, actually. Great job out of you getting that futures bid on them, John. Honestly, that's really wow. What a call. That's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about hockey, but like after they beat the Bruins, I'm like, well, the Bruins were the best team in the league. Like, who else can't they beat at this point? Like, it's all a crapshoot for the most part in the playoffs. So they were 12-1. I was like, shit, I'll put a little bit of money down on this. Yeah. So one more win, and I'm in good hedging position for something in the Cup Finals.
How about that's crazy? The Heat, the Panthers, Florida Atlantic, and Miami Hurricanes of college basketball. Like they are like arguably the sports capital of the country at this moment.
Yeah, so true, Andy. It's so true. What a story. What a time for South Florida right now. And then even on the other side of the state, Tampa Bay, the Rays are doing pretty well. You know, I mean the Lightning not so much, but still good stuff all around. Yeah, John. And the thing about Florida is like, I also know that after that series, they got to play Toronto next. Like, yeah, at least you figure they probably get into the rounds.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like, right.
So, yeah, nice. That's a pretty good. It's a pretty good move. So we'll see what happens. So Lakers are down 3, but it's not completely over yet. We'll see. All right, fellas. Thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll see each other again soon. It should be fun. I'll be up to date as far as what happens with the Open. Hopefully I'll be there. I feel like you're right. I should make it. I should make it work. It's right there. Like, just come on. Like I'll totally.
You're going.
I'm going. I'm doing it. All right, friends. Thanks so much. Take it easy, everybody.
All right. Nice talking to y'all. Thanks for having me.
Got it. Absolutely, everybody. Take care, everyone. That's Andy. That's Mike. That's John. That was fun. So, everyone who's listening to us via all your podcast players, I want to thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. My name is Dave Medina. You know him as Davey's Eating a Sandwich on all the platforms. If you happen to be if you have nothing else going on tomorrow night, if you're listening to this podcast on Tuesday morning, May 23rd, well, it happens to be my birthday. So Tuesday night, or tonight, if you're listening to this podcast like right after it drops, I'm going to be on Twitch for a birthday stream at 8 o'clock Eastern. So if you're looking for us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Davey's Eating a Sandwich. And if you're on Twitch watching us live right now, I'll tell you more about it. But for those of you on our podcast feed, thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you missed any part of our show, you can catch it on our YouTube page and our Twitch page, twitch.tv/Davey's Eating a Sandwich, or YouTube. Also, same handle, Davey's Eating a Sandwich. And it's been grand. It was a really good conversation, especially if you like golf. Definitely check out our friends John and Andy and Mike. They are on Twitter. I didn't grab all their handles, but next time we have them on, I'll let you know where they all are on Twitter, so you can follow them too over there. So until then, those of you on the podcast, we'll see you next time. And as for those of you on this magical Twitch apparatus on our Twitch feed, I would like to now tell you a little bit more about what we're doing tomorrow. Not a lot, just to be clear. Like, it's gonna be a fun birthday time. It probably won't be as crazy as last year's birthday stream. That was next level That was next level chaos. That was great. We had like 10 sandwiches delivered by our friends, like friends from Vibing and Jamie. It was really, really an incredible time. That is a moment I'll never forget. We had some massive raids during that day. It was really great. Not so much. We're not so much doing that, but we will have some fun. We'll still have some fun. I think the things I know I will be doing. I should at some point during that day be receiving a chocolate covered onion. So because you all were so kind to bring in send in to cheer the bits to make that happen, there was a huge bit goal, and we met the bit goal. That's really great. So thank you so much for doing that, everybody. It's very, very kind to have your generosity. Oh, there we go. Cool. I was looking for a thing and I found it. Okay, so that's the biggest thing that we're doing tomorrow. I'm also gonna play. You'll see if you look at the bottom, like just the title of the stream. There's a sub goal at the bottom. We're actually just going to do that tomorrow. Like, I'm not going to wait for the sub goal to reveal this video. There's a long story as to why. I'll break it down tomorrow, but the point is that the video is in essence deprecated. Like, it's kind of like holding on to it doesn't even make sense anymore, so I'll just play it. We'll see what you think of it. Then you can even make a call to whether you want to put it on TikTok or not. That's fine. That's about it. So, hope you'll be there tomorrow. I'll play some music too. I am thinking about playing the entire everything I've written so far for this concept album I've been writing, and we could do that tomorrow too. But we'll see. It should be really gonna see where the night takes us. I think is the idea. Maybe do some karaoke. Maybe do some more food. I'm not exactly sure. There's like a lot. It's a lot to unpack. But we'll see you there. 8 o'clock Eastern. Steven, thank you so much too. Thank you for joining us. I'm glad you were here. Steven says glad to be here. Thanks for the show. You're very welcome, Steven. So good to see you. It's great to see you literally on your channel. We raided the Steven friend last week, and that was really fun. Like Steven, I believe, was playing Rocksmith, which was really cool. And thank you very much for making us feel at home. That was really fun. So let's go see who's on right now. We got some choices tonight, don't we? This is kind of an interesting decision to make here. I think our destination tonight. So the thing about it is, you want to make sure you don't go somewhere where you've already been, something like that. I think I got that right. Hey, wait a second. Oh, we got a couple of people on our radar. You know what? That isn't too bad. There are a lot of places that Hey, wait. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Well, anyway. Oh, hey, Calf, how you doing? What's going on? Yeah, good to see you, Calf. I think I got it. I generally try not to do music off of a not music stream or not music related stream. So what I'm gonna do, although I guess we're still gonna do music at the end of the day. But I wanted to raid this. I wanted to raid here for a while. So let's go say hi to a good friend of ours. Upcoming guest says. Sticky music is on upcoming guest. Upcoming. Oh, hold on. 1 second. Yeah, we haven't had a lot of chat activity tonight. I do want to make an announcement as far as what's coming up next week as well. I was going to get into it tomorrow as well, but Steggy would be a great guest too. Yeah, definitely. So two really awesome guests coming up next week. We do not have a Q&A scheduled this week, but next week it's gonna be fire. We have JMO Piano joining us. JMO is relatively new to Twitch, and he has been sensational since he joined the platform. In only like maybe a month, he's become a Twitch partner, and for good reason. He's absolutely brilliant in the way he can interpret music and listen to it by ear and play it almost perfectly. It's really good. We're gonna go hang out with our good friend JMO. Oh yeah, thanks for the shout as well. Yeah, definitely give our friend a follow. Now JMO is streaming tonight. We did raid over there recently. 2 months, which again, Cafe, I'm sure you'd agree, an extraordinary run. But as I mentioned to other people in the over the course of the week, John Michael Ogletree is his name, and he had a pretty sizable following on YouTube before joining Twitch. So I think a lot of his community from YouTube came through, which is really great to see. That doesn't always translate. Like, you have a community, you have a following. It doesn't necessarily carry over to different platforms, but in the case of JMO, it really did. And so, big props to their community for coming through. And a lot of us found out about him very, very quickly. The word was really getting around. So I'm really excited to have JMO on our show next week. It's gonna be a very, very good show. So yeah, that's gonna be a great time. So definitely go give our friend a follow. In fact, JMO's on right now. But as mentioned, we did raid pretty recently, so we do want to offer you the opportunity to go to the channel at your leisure. It should be really good. So where we will go tonight, I'm gonna go raid over to someone actually I was trying to raid in the previous 2 weeks, and I think we've got clearance for it. So Oh, hey, Brett. What's going on, Brett? Well, nice to see you tonight. How's it going? Cheers to you, Brett. Welcome in, Brett. I hope you're well. How's your weekend, by the way? Well, as long as we're here, I may as well chat a little bit. Calf, I did catch for a second your stream, and hope your stream went well too. We get some music on. We can shoot the breeze a little bit. Oh, geez, not that. Oh gosh. No, I mean all the love to Missy, of course, but that's actually looking for a different. Missy had a really great event last weekend. I was so fortunate to be part of that. She hosted Phil Am in a hotel cafe here in Hollywood. That was a great, and I mean that was a great great event. There should. I hope their highlights surface on YouTube somehow because it was such a good show. And let's give a shout out to Missy Alcazar Music too, because actually Missy's on too. Actually, interesting. I wish I could redo 3 places at once. That would be kind of fun. But Brett says good. Adopted a rescue puppy, so I'm exhausted trying to keep up. Hey, that's great. You got a new pet? That's super great. That's really cool. Good news. I think that's terrific. All right. Yeah, Brett, congrats. I hope you have many good years with your rescue puppy. That's adorable. That's really great. Cap says, by the way, Davey, for your custom shot of Stream Elements can use that streamer's emotes if they've given the SE a sub. So you could have a Brett emote. I guess my question about that, I have seen this on Vibing's channel. So if the streamer has given Stream Elements a sub, then the emotes are in play. I wonder how many streamers would have that situation. I would not, because I don't use Stream Elements. I use Streamlabs, but that's a really interesting question. So then I guess what you do in the cases in other people's cases, you probably just give them the sub yourself. I think that's how that works. You could do that. Or no, but it has to be. But that streamer has to give them a sub, right? That's the way that works. Because it's channel specific. Most everyone gets Stream Elements as subs. So Stream Elements can use many emails. Ah, clever. Okay. That's pretty cool. Partner streamers can give lifetime bot sub too. Really? I wonder how much that costs. That's a good investment. I would totally do that. I'd totally do that if I had that option. That's a very good option. Yeah, I like it a lot. But yeah, Caffeine, I do want to thank you so much for sending the good word about the sandwich show to JMO. That was fantastic. That was really great. I'm really grateful to know that he's so enthusiastic to come on too. That's definitely very cool to see. I was watching the end of the basketball game right here. Give me just a sec here. Doesn't cost a thing. Partners can give two lifetime bot subs, which is useful because having just one, in fact more than one, quite a few streamers end up using more than multiple bot services. Because I've seen some streamers do Nightbot and Stream Elements at the same time. So, it is completely possible to run multiple bots in one sitting. That is an actual thing. You can actually do that. The only reason is so the bot can use up to tier 3 emotes. Yeah. Okay. Pretty neat. Pretty cool. Yeah. You can almost do anything in OBS with cruise control and not use a bot. Brett says, I think I only use Stream Elements in Siri. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. There's a lot of different ways to go about these things these days, you know? Twitch has its own, shout out system now. So theoretically, you may not need to use a bot at all on your channel, but you still want legacy of it for some things. For Homo and my mods can change my OBS scenes with commands. Oh, sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, that's a pretty cool feature. I've seen that before too. Juke does that. Like, remember how like Human Juke 81 has where the mods can change the scenes with like exclamation point this or exclamation point that, and they can change the scenes in OBS. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I'll give you an update as far as dinner. Rothko Aurora, who was here just a few minutes earlier in our spot. He had shepherd's pie, which is pretty cool. Now, what are they gonna do? They're gonna foul? They gotta foul. You're not gonna foul? I think that's a dangerous decision. Yeah, they're committed to this idea. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, they didn't get it. Oh wow. Timeout. Oh man. All right. So Brett says, I'm watching the Lakers. So they're down 2 and they have 4 seconds left. So they can win the game with a 3, or they can tie it with a 2. Brett says, once Twitch added the emergency shield, Siri isn't as needed anymore, but the shield still requires someone to do it, right? Yeah. Important stuff for security purposes. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's go and do a raid. So thank you again for hanging out with us tonight. We'll be back tomorrow. Oh my gosh. This is bringing back a memory. The about to raid, if you remember, Goldfish kind of did that. Robbie, so good to see you. How's it going tonight? Welcome. Let me bring y'all in. Hold on. Let me see if I got everything here. I think I do. I think I got it. Here we go. There we go. I predict a riot. There we go. Robbie G, what's going on? Are you watching this crazy Lakers game? Robbie, as you rated, and you probably heard me commenting on the ending here, this is really exciting. Now, you may be ahead of me, so I'm not going to look at the chat until these last 4 seconds are up in regulation. But, Robbie, so good to see you. Mods, Cap, would you be kind enough to shout out Robbie's channel for me? Robbie, how was your stream? I did see you had your jersey on as you were doing your stream. I hope you're enjoying the game. I mean, it's been a wild game. I mean, I was not surprised to see Denver cut into the lead and then take the lead. Oh my gosh, that's it? Wow. Boy, what, man, Jamal Murray and Jokic with the defensive plays to end the game. Wow. Well, you got to give it to Denver. You know what? The Nuggets have outplayed the Lakers this entire series. I mean, Davis, really? I mean, Jacob, my friend Jacob, has been talking to myself and Coach, my other IRL friend, about how AD basically called him out as being soft, and it's like, honestly, from what we saw of the series, you can't really disagree. Jokic was a beast, though. I mean, all the props. I mean, this is a rough loss, but I mean, to be honest with you, there probably wasn't a way out of this. Like, okay, they win the game, they go to Denver, they're probably going to get blitzed over there. So, you definitely give the Lakers a lot of credit for for having a great, for fighting. It's a tough loss. They gave up a 15-0 lead in the third quarter. Like, it was rough. But anyway, Robbie says, I had Jeremy from Moonlight Social on to talk Dallas. Oh, nice. I was hoping I could raid to switch up the luck. Sorry, but that's all right. It's all right. This was inevitable, Robbie. No shame and no worries. I appreciate the raid, though. Thank you so much. Everyone, give our friend Robbie G, Sports OTHP, a follow. Most underrated. They were the 1 seed, the most underrated 1 seed. And yeah, you aren't kidding. It really doesn't feel like Denver's a 1 seed as you go through these series. Like, yeah. Well, they'll, maybe Phoenix will give them a tough time. Maybe the Lakers will give them a tough time. Look, folks, they're 1 seed for a reason. And I just don't see them losing to either. Obviously, at this point, it's going to be Miami. Boston already looks like they lost a series and they still got a game to play tomorrow. But, like, come on. I mean, they look like they quit. I mean, my friend Andy was on earlier tonight, and he's a Celtics fan, and he pretty much said the same thing. It just looks rough. I think we're going to see some serious changes in the Celtics organization over the offseason. It is now. It's been a very ugly series for Boston. Miami matches up with the Celtics so well, and they have been for about 5 years now. And so you go in that series, you have Spoelstra, you have Butler, two absolute winners. It was definitely going to be a tough series for Boston regardless, and I don't think they could handle the heat. That wasn't even intended, but seriously, the Heat have been put on Boston, and stranger things have happened, but it would definitely be very surprising if the Celtics even got back to Boston, let alone win the series. So we'll see. We'll see about tomorrow. Brett says Celtics gave all they had to beat my Sixers, and they had nothing left. Sixers should have won that series, right, Brett? Like, we talked about that with Doc Rivers. Like, he's just not the guy. Like, I mean, any serious contender, it's just rough. But I'm not necessarily surprised. Just tough spot. But look, just to repeat, congrats to Denver. Big time kudos to Denver for the Denver Nuggets winning the Western Conference Finals. This is going to be their first NBA Finals appearance in the history of the franchise. That's huge. Huge. Now, they may have made one or two when they were in the ABA, like an ABA Finals. They've never made an NBA Finals. So this is a big moment for Denver sports. Huge moment for Denver sports. If there was like a Dobby G, sports on the Rockies like show, they would be all over this right now. They'd be going ham on that Twitch channel right now, talking about Denver making their first ever NBA Finals, maybe even taking some comments from the chat, or possibly like some virtual phone calls and stuff. Like it's a huge. Hey, wait a second! Action Lab would definitely be all over this. Action Lab's like a big one of the guys in Action Lab's a big Nuggets fan. Is Action Lab on? Let me go double check and see if Action Lab's on. That's a layup raid destination if they're on right now. Let me go see. I have to go scroll through here and find out. They must be pumped. I'm gonna go over to their chat next time I see them. Just say kudos to your guys. Dudes, you guys your team is just like next level. Like, you all are great. I'll go check and see. I don't see him right now. But yeah, big shout out to Action Lab too. I'm gonna go shout them out. Is it Action Lab Sports? No, we got it. Here you go. Give our friends a follow. Short Soda says, "Eat a sandwich, please." I don't eat sandwiches on demand like that. I'd have to have one first. I will have one tomorrow probably. I already actually had my sandwich, unfortunately. We should have a redeem just to eat a sandwich. That's funny, actually. It's a funny idea. All right, I guess we could do that. 100 million points. Eat a sandwich. Oh my goodness. But the problem is, I think in a lot of streams that would be redundant because I wind up eating sandwiches anyway. So this is just like one of the rare night where I'm not having a sandwich on the stream. And I can't tonight because I already had one. I had some bacon cheeseburger sliders tonight, and they were fantastic. They were really good, but that was earlier, so I cannot. Unfortunately, I do not have anything left to share. 1,000 bits for a sandwich. Short Soto, if you truly want me to make the attempt at a sandwich, a question for you: does an Uncrustable sandwich count as a sandwich? Because if it does, I'll bring it out. I'll have one for it. I'll have one with you all. Robbie says, "How many bits would someone have to give you for you to go make another one?" Okay. Then I'll get one. Now, you do not have to give me 1,000 bits. I appreciate the idea. Very nice of you. Let me just take a BRB. I'll be right back. I'm going to put the music back on, and I will have the Uncrustables, and I will enjoy this with you, everybody. So stay with us. We'll return in just a minute. All right, welcome back, everybody. I love Calf's comment. Davey changes his name to Davey ate too many sandwiches and has fallen and can't get up. That's pretty phenomenal. I love that. I'm hoping the music's coming in not too soft, but not too loud either, because, like, if it's too soft, it doesn't really, you can't hear it at all. But, Short Soto, I got your back. This is an Uncrustable sandwich. Thank you so much for the follow. Did you give the bits anyway? Short Soto, you didn't have to give the bits. That's nice, by the way. 69 bits. Nice, nice. But you did not have to do that. But thank you so much for the follow and the 69 bits. All right. Well, I know what to do here. Let's make this happen. Now, these sandwiches start frozen. Oh, my gosh. You didn't have to give the 1,000 bits. Oh, my gosh. You're very generous. Thank you so much. All right. Davey doesn't need a Uncrustable trick. Listen, I appreciate you. That's really kind of you. That's a very nice early birthday present. Thank you so much, Short Soto. Thank you so much for the follow. Let us know if you stream. If you do stream, we'd be glad to shout you out. So here it is. Honestly, 1,000 bits is wild. Thank you so much for 1,069 nice bits. Yeah. It's still frozen, so I have to do this pretty slowly. Oh my goodness! Oh my god! Oh my god! Yo! Thank you so much for the 1,000 bits again! My goodness! Well, I never lie either. It genuinely is my birthday tomorrow. I was born on May 23rd. And we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna eat some sandwiches tomorrow too. So come on back, we'll have a lot of fun. Oh my god! Yo, that's, my gosh, whoa! The birthday hype's coming early, holy shit! 5,000, honestly, you really didn't have to. Thank you so much. This is all I had to do? I'm gonna do this every day then. I'm just kidding. Calf, thank you so much for the 100. Oh my gosh, you're very kind. Thank you, Short Soto. Well, as long as we're here, Short Soto, what is your favorite sandwich? Do you have what's your favorite sandwich out of interest? My favorite sandwich is the Rachel, which is a pastrami Reuben. Brett says, I enjoyed the antics from the last birthday. Oh, BLT. That's a good one. Oh man, that's quality. That's quality. With the mayo, Short Soto. Oh, that's a good call. It's a good call. Caps is one more and it'll be an instant level 2 or 3, I think. Oh my gosh. Wow. Will I have to play DSB if I get to level 5? Brendan, you have missed some insane stuff right now. Our new friend Short Soto has just cheered a combined 7,069 bits. Honestly, thank you so much, my friend. Brendan, so good. Can we give a shout out to Indubitably Brendan as well? And our friend Brendan Frothing Slosh, who has a new podcast out rating the fast food chains don't forget that show, everybody. I'll tune into that as soon as I can, probably tomorrow. But I'll keep nibbling on this. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have a custom yet. Regular should do it though. Thank you, Calf. Thank you for the shout out. Let me count you out too, Calf. Calf did everything. Oh, there it goes! There it goes! Oh my goodness, hype train time. Thank you so much, everybody. Oh gosh. Oh, I appreciate you. Y'all are very kind. Oh my gosh, Short Soto. So, I'm not sitting on a resub. What the fuck? Oh yeah, man. No worries, no worries. So, here's what we got tonight. For this hype train, I would like to offer you some hype train trivia. So let's do it, my friends. Here it comes. So this is an opportunity to ask some questions, answer some questions. Let's go with... No, instant level 4 is crazy, Cav. It's crazy. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Short Soto. Honestly, gosh, you're so very kind. Is there anything I could do? Sure, I can play a song for you, Short Soto. Would you like to request a song? I could gladly play a song for you. I'll make an exception for you, my friend. I don't know if you're into music at all, but I'd be so glad to do that for you. I think I can open the requests, the song list for you. So I'm gonna give you that opportunity because you were just so kind. And now we'll go ahead and do some hype train trivia as well. Okay. Brett says I need to run. Have a good night. See you tomorrow. Oh, thank you, Brett. I know you're right. We had a lot of chaos last year. We'll see if the same thing happens tonight. Yeah. It was crazy. I'll say that for sure. No Irish go. No. No regular goodbye would be good. Would be good tonight. Thank you so much, Brett, for hanging out with us. Question: what kind of a bork does the borking bork when a bork borks a bork? Yeah, I love it. I love that, cat. I love that. That's great. So hold on. Let me just go ahead and enable the. I'm gonna enable the requests, and I think I allowed the song list to. Yeah, I did that a while ago. So, so here. Please request a song, Short Soto. I'd be glad to play you any song that you want to hear from the songs, because I do also play music on stream. So if you would like that, I'd be glad to accommodate. Thank you for the hype train. Let's do some hype train trivia. So tonight, let's do some Brookstone Bards trivia. I bet you Calf would be pretty good at this, and I think Brett would, if Brett were still here, we could hold his own. Wait, what's this all about? Oh, did Robbie request a song? Oh, okay, right on. I'm heading to bed. Oh, you too, Caff. Thank you so much. Yo, go follow our friend Caffeine is My Drug. Okay. Well, let's do some trivia. Whoever's in our chat, let's do some trivia together. Give me just a second. We'll get this together. We will do. Let's do. Let me see. Well, we have indubitably Brendan in our chat. We have Pink in Music, Game of Thrones, Vacuum. I don't know if we did Vacuum trivia yet. We could do that. We could do 90s movie quotes. I think I'm going to go with Vacuum. Let's go with Vacuum. Okay. So Vacuum trivia. Here we go. So the way this works, everybody, is we're going to ask some questions. And if you get the question right, you get a point. If you do not get the question right, Davey, is eating a sandwich, will get a point. So so let's set that up. Give me a second here. Let's go put this together. Okay. So let's go. Potpourri for 100. Wait, who is playing for that? No, all of you guys are playing for chat. So in other words, I'm basically playing against everybody. So in other words, instead of there being a guest playing against the chat, I'll be the one playing against the chat. But it's kind of backwards because you will all be answering the questions. And if you get it wrong, then I get a point. So it's like role reversal of a regular collab chat, sandwich show. Have you ever done Hollywood Squares? I have absolutely thought about it. In fact, I was looking at, you know how like we have our, like when we do our Discord events, we do like our karaoke nights, Brendan, how they kind of line up to be like nine rectangles. That is exactly what I was thinking of doing. Like a Hollywood Squares with like Twitch stars. Like that. That's something I want to do. I have been thinking about it. I'm still thinking about it. And I think there's a way to make it, to pull it off. I think really you just have to get 2 additional contestants to kind of chime in. Where we're all sitting there with 9 people. Yeah. It works perfectly. So again, thank you so much for all your generosity. Honestly, Short Soto, thank you for the 7,069 bits. Holy cow! I appreciate you so much. I'm gonna take another bite on your behalf. Thank you so much. Hey, you got a train. Nice, Robbie. Caffeine, thank you for the 100 bits. And the other 100 bits. Thank you for, and Streamer Up, thank you for the follow as well. Brendan says, I do share a birthday with one of Twitch's biggest celebs. A little trivia for you. Thanks to Asymmetrical Soul for letting me know, I guess. And we're only a year apart. We have a lot of birthdays this month. So if the birthday's in May, I might even be able to guess it. I mean, we have a lot of birthdays this month. It's pretty amazing stuff. Big Star. Am I to guess? I'm gonna make 2 guesses, Brendan. Guess number 1 is Autopilot. Is it Autopilot? Can I do a third one? I'll do a third guess. No, I wish. Yeah, but Autopilot would be dope. Is it? Is it a Nell Stahl? Or is it just saying that you have one and you don't know who it is? Like, what is Twitch known for? Oh, duh. Right. So is it Ninja? Like, what is Twitch known for? No. Okay. I don't know a whole lot of other gaming streamers. I mean, we can't say Amaranth. It's not Amaranth. I refuse to believe that. So, I'm sure we're thinking of gaming. Who else would we have? It's a Big Star, right? Yeah. Well, Ninja's as big as you get, but Ninja's not even on Twitch anymore, so it's like kind of interesting. So, who will be the next biggest star on Twitch? Nope, but I mean, I feel bad for her. Yeah, definitely. Tough spot. Well, let's continue to deliberate that. We're gonna do some trivia as we situate that. Yeah, go ahead and just reveal it. I'm probably not gonna guess it. That'd be cool. That'd be all right if you just revealed it for us, Brendan. So there you go. Wait, Davey? Wait a second. What do you mean? You mean me? We have the same birthday? Are you serious? Oh, her name sounds like a popular. Oh, okay. I was getting like, oh man, you should be on the show too. If that's true, you should be on the show anyway. We should just have you on anyway, regardless. Okay. So, did you write Davey? Oh, I did. That's intentional. Yeah, that's just a little gag. Can I go on shirtless? I don't know if you can get by the Twitch TOS regulations, then yes, go ahead and go shirtless. That's fine. It's always a tough spot though. You never truly know. Now, speaking about tomorrow's stream, tonight I think I'm good, but tomorrow, if you'd like to come on, I'll be glad to get you on. Absolutely. Her name sounds like a popular anime from the 90s. Sailor Moon? Would that be it? Sailor Moon. That's, yeah. Interesting. Akira? Like top of the iceberg level of popularity. Okay. Can I use like Twitch? Can I do a Google search? Oh, like it's technically. Oh, okay. More basic. So it is a cartoon. Okay. Let me go see, Brendan. It is currently... Is it Shroud? Oh, I know. Is it Lily Pichu? Because you're thinking Pokemon, right? Yeah, but is it Hafu? And the first part of her name sounds like Hawaiian, so Pokey something. So I did have the right idea. Pokimane. Is that right? Pokimane. How about that? How about that, Brendan? Wow. That's high company, my friend. High company, Brendan. Sweet. Okay. So let's do some trivia. Good luck, everybody who's in our chat. So, I'm going to give you 10 questions. How many of them can you all get right in the chat? Good luck. If you get it right, you get a point. If you do not get it right, your good friend Davey gets a point. Let us do the thing. Here we go. And Big Bill Hendo! Thank you for the 2-month resub. Thank you. Oh my goodness. So you're very kind to join us tonight. Oh gosh. How you doing, Bill? So good to see you. Would you like to partake in trivia with us tonight, my friend? Steal the point from Davey. All right, let's do this thing. Here we go. Okay, friends, here we go. Here's our trivia tonight. My birthday is tomorrow, Tuesday night, starting at 8 o'clock Eastern. So, I might sneak in a couple of channels and just go, hey, I don't like to say it's my birthday to people, but maybe they'll know anyway. And then I might even get some Discord love over on various servers. That'd be really fun. Robbie says, I gave you a birthday stuff. You sure did. Gosh, I got a big old birthday present from our friend, from both yourself and Calf and Short Soto. Holy shit. Like, y'all have been great. You gotta give yourself that. I gotta give myself that. I've been awake for about 2 minutes. I won't be an acid for chat. Oh, I know. Good morning, Bill. So good to see you tonight, this early morning. Hope you're well. Hope that coffee's going. All right, so let's get Jory's today. Yep, Jory today. I was over there. It might even have been yesterday, because like Jory was supposed to do the day before, but the internet very much undermined him, so he tried it again today. I'm glad he did, because then I was able to properly give him a happy birthday greeting. He was really happy to see all of us there. So, okay. Dark Native is also me, Hannah, myself. I couldn't say Anasashi. I do know that our mutual friend Carmela has a birthday not long after mine. Like, it's like days after mine. Like, I guess like 5 days after mine or something like that, yeah. And it's like really coming up. It's really, yeah, 29th, yeah. It's like coming up, like so. But anyway, let's get to our trivia. Okay, so tonight's trivia. First question. Okay. Which U.S. state invented the first vacuum cleaner? If any of you in the chat know, go ahead and give a guess. And if you get it, you can guess multiple times. It's fine. Like, in other words, multiple people can guess. And if there is a correct answer in that batch, I will give you the point. Did you say Idaho? You are so close. It also starts with an I. It also starts with an I, if that helps you. In New York, it's always New York. It's not always, not this case. Not in this case. Iowa is correct. Yes. Nicely done, Brendan. So the chat gets their first point. Okay. Number 2. Question 2. What brand name was a popular term for a vacuum in the 1920s and 1930s? It's a popular term for a vacuum. So it's like, like Oreo is a popular term for a cookie. I did. It might have been, possibly, Trina Chakrabarty, who's celebrating 2 years on Twitch pretty soon. I think it's like on Friday. So shout out Trina. It is Hoover. Look at Big Bill Hendo coming in just waking up and getting it on the nose. That's 2 for 2. Nicely done. Fantastic. Okay, next question. What is the typical lifespan for a vacuum cleaner? And give me the number of years. You don't have to be too exact about it. Shutout. Get the shutout. We got this 69 years. Okay, does anyone else have a guess? 69 years? 9 years? No. You're getting warmer, though. If it's mine, 4 years. I still think it's a pretty good run. No. No. One more guess. Yeah, you got it. 6 years. 6 years. Chat's 3 for 3. All right, so... Well, process of elimination. Brendan was about to go all 50 numbers right there, so... Okay. Next question. Which of these companies produce vacuum cleaners? Which of these companies produce vacuum cleaners? Is it? It's only one of these. Is it Tyson? Is it Dyson? Is it Lysol? Or is it Rayovac? So Tyson, Dyson, Lysol, or Rayovac. Which one of those four produces vacuum cleaners? It is Dyson! You got it! You are still perfect for the chat, for the trivia. That's fantastic work, everybody. Okay. Next question. Yep, Robbie, you got it right, too. What is a colloquial term for a handheld vacuum cleaner? Nice. Great job, everybody. Great job. You're all doing fantastic here. Sucker. Keep. But a handheld vacuum cleaner. I think Bill Hendo had it right. He just needed to... I think he just... had it. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Dustbuster is correct. Yes. Dustbuster, invented by... Oh, maybe I'm... Oh. Okay. Okay, good thing I didn't keep going because I would have given away the next question. What company invented the Dustbuster in 1979? Which company invented the Dustbuster? Suck machine. It is not Hoover. Does anyone else have a guess? Ah, damn. It is Black & Decker. You get it right again. Big Bill Hendo for the win. All right. You're all 6 for 6. And Big Bill Hendo's like, I'm not going to get anything right. Ah, but you did, my friend. You did. Bill's yeah, I agree. Brendan, I agree. Bill's waking up. Did we give Big Bill Hendo a shout out? Mods, can you give our friend a shout out in the chat? I think... Let me go ahead and do it. Cash App Bill. I know. But yeah, follow our good friend Big Bill Hendo. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Okay, next question. Is Dirt Devil a vacuum model or a company name? Dirt Devil. Okay. Let's see. Well, there's only 2 choices, right? Okay. Anybody else got any dissenting votes? No? Company name? Okay. Company name. I love your answer. I do. It is, however, incorrect. It's apparently the vacuum model, but it's kind of like Hot Wheels, where it's like, well, yeah, but Hot Wheels is like a brand, isn't it? Well, yeah, but it's still made by Mattel, and so Dirt Devil actually was made by a company called Royal when it came out, and now they're made by some of the conglomerate. But that's a very tricky question. Have you ever hosted in trivia nights or karaoke nights IRL? Do you mean like, well, first of all, let me give myself a pointer. I gotta savor this moment because I feel like y'all have been crushing it tonight. I have not. We did do a karaoke IRL at JevCon in September. I highly recommend finding that live from JevCon stream. It was over. It's on our YouTube page. that was great. That was the IRL karaoke. It was phenomenal. It was really good. So I did host the karaoke IRL. I did not do trivia IRL yet, though. I wanted to at TwitchCon. I registered to do one, but I don't think Twitch was interested in it, so it didn't happen. That's okay. Yes, I got Katie. Brendan, I was about to tell. I thought I wanted to mention that to you, but yeah. Brendan, do you mean yourself or Katie or both? Because honestly, we have room for both of you. So please let me know if you want to be in on that. We've got plenty of space for both. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. She's been. Oh, okay. No worries. Well, let's go back to business. Okay, so let's finish up these questions. The next question. Which of these are vacuum brands? Shark or Ninja? Or is it Shark and Ninja? Which of these are vacuum brands? Wait, I have the wrong thing. This one. Yep, Shark is one. Yep. As it turns out, they are both vacuum brands. So you're both right. They're both vacuum brands. So the chat doing great here. Okay. Next question. Where do you normally find a vacuum tube? Where do you normally find a vacuum tube? What is it, basically? What kind of equipment is a vacuum tube? Like in a house? Yeah, I mean, you would definitely find it in a house, but... Okay, yeah, absolutely. Glad to. Where, in what? Maybe this is a bit of a better way to put it. In what would you normally find a vacuum tube? Like, where would you normally see, or where would you normally find vacuum tubes? Like, what would they be involved with? What might be connected to them? The government. No. Not what we were looking for. Anyone else with a guess? Anyone else with a guess? I am not sure if I'm very stoned for this, but I found this question hilarious. No. Brendan, stop right there. You said TVs? You're correct. That is exactly right. Vacuum tubes are found in any form of electronics. So TVs is absolutely one of those. Vacuum tubes could be found in lighting. Vacuum tubes used to be found in a lot of stereos too. Electronics is the answer. You got it right. You keep stumbling on the right answer. Absolutely. We'll take it. All right. So next question. Radio Joe emote in the chat. I love it. Okay. Last question tonight. What common household item is also a vacuum tube? And here's a hint. You may have already said the answer. I know. So I gotta give that to you. Do you have the answer, my friends? Do you have it? And Robbie, hang tight for just a second, because I got your song after this. Yeah, you got it. Phenomenal. Well done, everybody. So, the final tally. The chat gets 9 out of the 10 questions right. Fantastic work, everybody. That was very well done. Good job of everyone. Phenomenal. Absolutely. Absolutely. Spoon feed me, why don't you? I did a little bit on some of those, yeah, to be fair. But totally worth the investment. It was really great. You all were terrific. Spoon feed me, why don't you, babe? Oh, why is lineup not here? Because when we do golf, I turn off the long form redeems when we do golf spots because I don't want the really long, like the ones that take a long time to do. I usually have those off when we do any roundtable discussion stuff, just so that they don't. I wouldn't want to keep our panel on ice for that long, so that's usually what I do. But I typically would turn it back on right after. I didn't realize we were. I didn't have the time to go out and turn them back on, but I actually got to turn them back on pretty soon here. So, but that's the only reason. It's just because like when I do roundtable discussions, I tend to turn off like things like Klondike and lineup and so on, just so that so we don't take up too much time when we do these roundtable discussions. So, but anyway, you will definitely have it back tomorrow because we're gonna literally have everything on tomorrow, except for the sound effects. But perhaps I might even turn that on if we do a game. So there'll be a lot going on there. I have to keep alive when I raid you. Oh gosh, y'all are great. Okay, so first things first. Let's do the song for you, Robbie. I don't want to forget about that song. So let me do that first. And then we'll do lineup and then we'll go into the rest of this. All right. So oh yeah, I got this. I think I can remember this. Yeah, I got you. Okay, Robbie, here we go. I'm gonna play the Robbie G song. This is a parody song that's based on Alanis Morissette's Head Over Feet, I think it is. So let me get this for you. Trying to remember where the hell it was. Should have it here. I've written a whole bunch of these. Like, let's see. Oh, there we go. Cool. I get my own rate song. I have to be consistent on your show. I get my own rate song. Oh, yeah, right on, for sure. All right, Joe. All right, Robbie. Here you go. This is the Robbie G song, everybody. Check it out. He ruled war commanders, Captain Wizards. He plays those fun games like Pokemon, the web he masters. He lives in the district of champions. He's been to cool concerts and he's got the video. So cool to know him. Let me turn this up a little bit. But he's a great man. He loves his family. They're hanging with Robbie G Sports. OTHP. He loves to talk sports with his buddies, and they speak their mind. He likes to scuba from time to time. I love it. Yeah. To follow our friend Robbie G Sports OTHP. DC Sports without the politics. Yep. Shout out, Robbie. That was fun. Thanks, Robbie, for the request. There, I think I narrated it. You definitely did. That was kind of neat. Yeah, you're kind of like descriptive emotes for the for the song. That's pretty cool. Okay, so now I think Brendan requested a thing too, but let's go ahead and do I assume this is gonna be a pretty short lineup. So we're gonna do starting lineup, my friends. And to do that, I would like to request for all of you to put in use exclamation point lineup in the chat, and then I'll shout out your names, and we'll get it going from there. So let's do it. Here we go. Exclamation point lineup. Lincoln! man. It's been a minute. How you been? Damn Caps. Yeah, not a great finish for the Caps, I must say. But Lincoln, welcome in. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're well. I'm doing well myself. Glad to see you, my Lincoln. Okay, so we're gonna actually keep the reverb on because it's time for the starting lineup. Brought to you today by our good friends Robbie G Sports OTHP, Big Bill Hendo, and indubitably Brendan. Thank you very much for entering our lineup. Let's do the thing. Oh, I love it, Lincoln. Love it, Lincoln. And now look who's just joined us. The starting lineup for your Davey's eating a sandwich. Sandwich shoot. Oh, there you go. There's a button. Lost my button. Okay. Leading off tonight, joining us all the way from the other side of the continent, proud fan of the Old Bay and loyal supporter of them O's, who just came off of the sweep of the Tampa Bay Rays, our good friend, not potentially, but indubitably, Brandon. And also joining us in this Caps fans takeover, joining us from the District of Champions, the host of the Sports on the Hill podcast, a scuba diver, a family man, big fan of Pokemon, and all the DC area teams, our friend Robbie G, Sports OTHP. And let's give a big hello to our friend currently out in Italy. He's no small potatoes. Let's give it up for a man with a big voice and a bigger heart. Big Bill Hendo! And joining us from Nebraska's capital, a great college town, home of the Nebraska Cornhuskers and many fine meats. Thank you for the resub too, Lincoln. He just started streaming on Twitch. Give our friend a follow. And thank you for the 3-month resub, our friend Lincoln Lee TV. And next, joining us from sunny San Diego, a very fine city for which my friend Andy in Seattle just visited over the weekend, and he speaks his praises alongside myself, the troller in chief, our good friend and mod, Homo. Love the Calps. Thank you, Go Bayside Pete Valley. Ladies, gentlemen, and non-binaries, your Davey's eating a sandwich. Sandwich choo-choo! Yep, Chicago Bulls too. Love it. I said Blue Jays, right? Dig it. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. That was fun. That was really fun. Okay, so let's keep this thing going. Hey, we stalled in Davey. It's my birthday. Oh, it is? Hey, you know what I was going to do tomorrow, but since it's already midnight Eastern time, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to sing happy birthday to myself. That's not weird. Oh, no. You know, I was so close to reading out and just having a short stream. Yeah, let's do it. It's my birthday. Let's do it. Thank you, everybody. I guess what do we start the 24-hour birthday stream now? Like just leave this thing and just like run it the whole day, and then tomorrow just have it here forever. I'll just be on all day tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Well, I appreciate the early birthday greetings. It says you can do the just sleeping thing. Nah, I'm not gonna. I probably won't do that. Like, the only thing I would do to kind of, you know what? This is actually kind of funny. I could just run the 2-year stream anniversary for my sleep because it's 14 hours. Like I could just run the rerun of that and just that'd be me sleeping. If Amaranth can do it, you can do it. Well, Amaranth does set the bar for the rest of us, doesn't she? So that's a good point. Robbie says that's not a bad idea. Sleepover. That's crazy. That's just crazy. Now eBay Davey birthday bathtub water. Oh my gosh. That would get... Oh, we have to pump it up. Pump it up, Robbie. Thank you so much. Pokimane is a May birthday, so she's better. We got to do a surprise. You really did. This is quite fun. Okay. Well, you know what would be a really good birthday present? Exactly. So, you know, we might get there. Too bad I'm not a Taurus. I'm all about the Gemini, though. Carmel and me, and anybody else born between these 2 weeks, you know, and Jory Abner, and anybody else? There's somebody else who had a birthday recently. I'm trying to remember who it was. But anyway, hey Dave, are you going to Vegas TwitchCon? Well, Lincoln, oh, why is this still on? I'm sorry. I'm on the fence with that. I'm kind of leaning toward no, but I might still go to Vegas. I want to actually show you guys something pretty interesting. So let's do mental trick first, and then I'll tell you. You ready? Are you ready? We can go see it. Brendan, if you're going, would the Knights be playing that week? Possibly. They start the NHL season kind of late now, so I'm not sure. I would be down for that. I miss the reverb. I would assume you would go since it's locals. But yeah, but I mean, correct. But it was also in San Diego last year, which is actually even closer. But never been to Vegas, never flown. Huge life event. Oh, Lincoln. Oh man, that's great. Well, I'll tell you what, Lincoln. I have an idea. I'm going to show you the idea in just a second. Let me just do this really quickly. Get ready. Yeah, San Diego's cool. I'm going to Paris. Oh, I wish I had the money. Brendan. Whoa! How are those bed sheets? Well, thankfully it didn't get on the bed sheet, so it looks like they're okay. The floor ate it, though. Oh, floor ate it for sure. Okay, so I want to show you guys something really cool. So, what I was thinking, and it's going to take a shit ton of coordination, but I think we can do it. Okay, so I'm going to show you something really neat, really interesting. What is it called? Oh, there we go. I found it. Okay. So, I want to show you general voice chat. Let's talk about that tomorrow. I think I'd be glad to open up the general voice chat tomorrow. Anybody that wants to join in the general voice chat can. If you're in our Discord, you can just join us in the general voice chat. That'd be fine. Okay. So, I'm going to show you something really, really exciting. Okay. So, first of all, we are having the chocolate onion tomorrow. I do want to mention that. I forgot to mention that. We will be having chocolate onion tomorrow. So that's already a win for everybody in the Sam fam. So here it is. All right. So this is an executive hospitality suite at Aria Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. I have stayed in here once before because I was upgraded to it. This is the party suite to end all party suites. It is 2,000 square feet. It has, let me show you. It has, where where's the thing that shows you oh, there we go. Cool. So it has an entire conference room, like a whole table for like food. You can have like a Knights of the Round Table meal in here. It's huge. It's huge. You could even move the table aside and just have a party room. You could have like a dueling piano set up in here, right? And then you've got this lounge. That's not really what I want to show you though. I want to show you this. Okay, the top chart, but I mean, this living room is enormous. Like, so here's a thought. I can get this at a pretty good rate, but it's still going to be a good amount of money. So we're talking like $900, but this is $900 like out the door. Can we raise $900 in 2 months? Not just the Sam Fam, but maybe we could get some other communities to jump in on it too. If we could do it, we can do a special BorkCon from this party suite in Las Vegas. What do you think, everybody? So, who takes baths? That's cheap. Well, for this, I think it's a very good price for this for sure. So my thought. Thank you for clipping that, Robbie. So I'm gonna bring it up tomorrow as well. Can we situate together? Is it anonymous? Is it anonymous? I'm not. Would you mind elaborating on that, Brendan? Like, no, this is at the Aria in Las Vegas. So I can, but we will also be partying in my hotel room for backup. Well, I'm sure everybody will, right? So, no, I don't. Oh, okay, no worries. Just in case. Well, that I don't think the partying ever really stops in Las Vegas. So, this is kind of my thought. We will do BorkCon. We'll do BorkCon 2023 in this 2,000 square foot room. I would have to figure out how to get a piano in there, and then we can invite anybody that is in Twitch music to do shows. Like, they can bring their guitars, can play piano on there, and then we would have essentially a mini TwitchCon in this room. It seems it's one night, but it's going to be a hell of a night. And then the night will be I think I said Friday, October 20th, I think is the night, is where I got that rate. So Helena isn't going, sadly. That's too bad. Can I dress like Hugh Hefner? Oh, Ari at home. Okay. So long and good night. Can I dress like Superman? Of course, absolutely. You can dress like anybody you want in Vegas. There are no limits there. Yeah. So that's my idea. That's all I was thinking. Okay, so Brendan, are you ready for your song? I think you said, what was the song that you wanted to do? Let me go see if I can dig up the chords for it. Jordy! Goodness, we're doing great, Jordy. We're doing great. Oh, barking up? Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you. What if I could do this? I could probably do this. It's kind of a life learn. Hey, you got some emotes. Nice. Congrats on making an affiliate. Nice. Oh, no. I'm going to get creative. Ultimate Guitar does not have those chords. I have to go find them somewhere else. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Roma, thank you for the reminder. Yeah. So it is midnight Eastern, which means it is my birthday already. So here we go. Happy birthday to myself. This won't be awkward at all. Let's see what I got over here. Okay, here we go. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, dear me. Happy birthday to day to me. Ooh. Happy birthday to myself. That was kind of fun. But thank you everybody for hanging out. Thank you, Rahomo. Thank you everybody for the love in the chat. I remember when I first joined Twitch, how odd I thought it was to have people do streams for themselves for their birthday. But I've really embraced that idea. I think it's really great that everybody gives their own spin on it, and everybody brings something new to the table. And sometimes they're really grand productions, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're just really intimate productions. And I think it's great that people get a chance to really make everyone feel special on one day. And I'm always so glad to reciprocate that to anybody else on Twitch who has a birthday. It's just been great. Kenny, by the way, Kenny from Kenny's Prog Rock Jukebox and the Jukes also had a birthday last week, Brendan. So that's another one of our friends on Twitch who has a May birthday. But Jordy, thank you so much. It's so good to see you, by the way. That's obviously a big part of my birthday present too. Almost as we need more reverb. You're most definitely here. Thank you so much, everyone. Gosh, y'all made me feel really great tonight. That's very kind to everyone. Now, I think if I was just gonna let the stream run perpetually, I would pretty much have to just run my run the Streamiversary show and then just go to bed. It doesn't make sense. I'm probably just gonna come to you tomorrow. I think that'd be just fine. I'm happy the raid stalled your raid. Look at the thoughts. We really did, Robbie. Thank you, Robbie. And really, thank you. Oh, Lincoln, thank you for the 400 bits. We still have reverb? Now we have even more reverb. You buy yourself 14 hours. Nah, that's all right. I love the idea, but I'm probably gonna forego that. I do need to upload what I did for the golf tonight, so that's gonna need to go up at some point pretty soon. So, and not only like the video one, but the audio one too, because we did an audio podcast. Is it me or does it just keep buffering? Is everybody else doing okay? Is that you, God? Says Lincoln. I'm missing everything. Robbie says I'm fine. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that, Brendan. My uptime looks good. I don't have any buffering on my end, so unfortunately, I think it might be on your side, Brendan, but hopefully it smooths out. Big Bill says I'm doing Daving 4K. Oh no. But it's nice to see you though tonight. Okay, cool. So you're good. We're good in Lincoln? Cool. All right. So let us go see. I'm afraid we might not get to raid HK, but that's okay. That's fine. We have plenty of other choices though. Some good ones too. Let me just see who else is on tonight. We do have some choices. This is good. Okay. We have plenty of choices. Okay. No. I don't believe we are done. I don't believe you're done yet. I'm going to double check this though. So hold on a second, everybody. Let's see what we got over here. What are we looking at for the queue? Ooh, okay. So HK is about to end. Okay, let's not worry about HK tonight. I do want to give a shout out to HK though. Wait, how about one journey? Oh no! Look who's here. Play Don't Stop Believing. I do know one, but first we need to figure out the coming up for Indubitably Bonus. Let's do that first, and then we'll come up with this. I'm gonna shout out HK enough though because he's a good friend. He also is known as Burger Boy. Give him a follow. Like you don't even have to do the raid to do this. Give him a follow right now. Like, there's a button. Go follow our friend HK Nuff. HK is awesome. Really good friend. Hang out there as Brendan says, let me sing your HBD. Okay. Let's do a ghost follow. Absolutely. Go follow our friend HK. I'm going to shout him out too over here. HK Nuff. There you go. So follow our friend. And now we're going to go play this for... Are you in our voice channel, Brendan? I have not. Oh, you are in there. Holy shit. Okay, Okay, Brendan, just a second. Let me see if I can get you on here. Let me see if you can hear me. Okay. Are you on camera at all, or is it just your voice?
No, you don't want to see me on camera.
I think you mentioned what you might be having. Okay. Brendan, it is all yours. I'd love to hear what you have for me.
Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday, dear Mr. Sandwich the Dad. Happy birthday to you. Go O's!
Let's go. Let's go. Can we give a big round of applause to our friend, to our good friend, indubitably, Brendan? Oh, that is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Dallas, thank you so much. I appreciate that very much. Hey, Davey, I'm headed to bed, but I wanted to pop in. Well, hello, though, Dallas. Oh, so good to see you again. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm back tomorrow with a birthday stream. Maker plays best HBD ever. I'm not one to argue that. Oh my gosh, seriously. Oh my goodness, Pete! It's so good to see you. Oh, are you still with us, Brendan? Sorry, I didn't realize it was still on the thing. Yeah, I'm gonna go and pop out of there. But thank you so much, Brendan. I appreciate that very much. But can we give a shout out to Cover Time Pete, my friends, and thank you, Dallas. Happy birthday! I appreciate that very much. So now for Doobity Brendan, let's see if I can do this. Well, this is gonna be interesting. That was an E13. I've never seen that. So you ready for this, Brendan? Here we go. You want a book that lasts forever, book that never fade away. I want to help you with your boredom. Book around, I say, book it up, book it up, book it up. Oh, over here. Let's see. Book it up like a flower. Book it up. I say, yeah. You want a book that you can rely on. You want that never fade away. If you're looking for an answer, book around, I say. You want some book and understanding, so everybody can be booked. I know that we can book together. We can make it. Book with me. Booking one other kind of future, one that everyone can book. You're not alone. We all could book it. We could make sure we're nearly bored. Booking up. Like a booker, walking up, yeah. There we go. Wait. What happened over here? HK's in our chat? Wait a second. Did we just get some... What? HK, thank you so much for hanging out with us. How was your stream, my friend? I saw you streaming earlier tonight. Thank you so much, HK. Happy birthday, Davey Goober. Well, back at you, HK. So good to see you, my friend. Almost, I was not expecting you. Yeah, I think you were probably thinking karaoke, and I didn't even realize that was an option. I just ended up playing it out of the fly. HK says, I didn't do anything, just popping in since Robbie snitched on you. Oh, did he really? Well, Robbie, what are we going to do about that, Robbie? Well, thank you so much for hanging out for popping in, HK. You're very kind. Can we give folks, once again, give our friend HK enough a follow. I mean, he's a good friend of ours. I met him in person at TwitchCon last October when we were hanging out at Katie's event at the Frozen Yogurt Shop. And what better spot for Katie to do a full solo set of original songs than a frozen yogurt place? Like, the only other place that could have been better, probably McDonald's because of the hash browns. But I mean, honestly, it's really, really great. And oh my gosh, thank you for the gift sub to Hot and Streamy. That's a great name too. Oh, no worries, Robbie. It's all good. Thank you so much for giving the good word out. But HK, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. It's quite an honor to have you here in our chat. Okay. So here's the deal. And we have Kevin Edward Music with a resub. Wait a second. Let me scroll up for it. Kevin! Thank you so much for the 4-month resub. Holy Moses. Thank you so much. And Lincoln says, this reminds me of my college roommates back in the day. I love it. Oh my gosh, Kevin, it's so good to see you. Shout out Kevin Edward Music, Rahomo. Let's go give some love to our good friend Kevin. Thank you for the resub. Yeah, Kev, I mean, what a night. Not a great night for the Lakers, but you know what? Still a good night. You know, I think Denver's just better. I mean, what can you say at that point? So, now is there another thing that we were going to do? I forgot. Does anyone remember what we were going to do? Oh, Bean Boozled. I got to do Bean Boozled. Okay, Jordy, I hope you're still here. We got to do some Bean Boozled for you. So, yeah, I need a delicious sandwich which I could come with. Thank you. Oh gosh, I did have a nice one tonight. Unfortunately, I finished it. But if you can imagine it, I had this Smucker's Uncrustables peanut butter and grape jelly sandwich, and I did enjoy it very much. Yeah, every game was pretty close. And that's true, Kevin. So, you know, if it's any consolation, the Lakers may have gotten swept, but man, every game was right there, wasn't it? Every game. Jordy says, I'm a Miami Heat fan, so I'm hoping we can win. Jordy, you are sitting pretty. At least for the East. Tomorrow feels like it's going to be the crowning of the Heat as the Eastern Conference champions. The Celtics look like they gave up on the series. So, I've had this potted up the whole time. Holy shit. That's funny. Okay. But anyway, here we go. We have this here. Can't really see it, but this is buttered popcorn, a rotten egg. I do love Jimmy Butler. He's a gamer, a winner. Let's see what we got here, Jordy. And congratulations. I mean, kudos and good luck to your Heat tomorrow, too. Like, I hope they finish the deal for you. Egg again. I don't even think they have popcorn ones. I think it's just all egg. No, it's fair. It's fair. Fair game, Brendan. Fair game. It's all good. Kevin says, I want to see the first 8 seed in history win the championship. Well, that's going to be tough to do against Denver. I don't think Denver's tough. So I wish them the best of luck. But Jokic is just on another level tonight. Any birthday dinners planned? Yeah, we're probably going to have one here on the stream, actually. One thing I want to do tomorrow, I can't do it. If they were open, I could do it. But I wanted to remake that sandwich I had with Fenwa Terrian on the 2-year show. It was an Italian sausage sandwich, which was fantastic. It was so good. So good. Go until you have a good one? We're going to be here all night if we do that. Brendan, I do get good ones occasionally. But anyway, I think this is a good place to close up shop. Lincoln, thank you again for the resub. Thank you again for the 1 month resub. Thank you for the Bean Boozled, Jordy 12. Thank you for the 400 gifts, 400 bits. Thank you for the raid, Robbie G. Thank you for the resub by Lincoln Lee and Big Bill Hendo. Thank you for the follow, streamer Rob. And I think there was one other follow during our show. Thank you for the resub for 8 months, Robbie G. And then thank you for the bits. Short Soto started this entire night of chaos with 7,069 bits, 7,069. Caffeine had 200 bits as well. Thank you all so much for your kindness tonight. Yes, thanks for turning this into a normal stream. I feel like I got all my favorite. Hey, Robbie, I'm back tomorrow too, so feel free to come back and do it all again if you want to. Be really fun. So, and I do want to make a note since you're all here. If you do want to pop into the Discord voice channel like Brendan did tonight, you're completely authorized to do that. So absolutely, if you want to jump into the VC, even if it's just the voice part of the VC, absolutely authorize it. It'd be great to hear from you on voice. So let's go ahead and go raid. I think HK's still up. I'm gonna double check. I want to make sure I make good on this, especially since he was so kind of pop into chat too. So Lego. Thank you for what you do. Well, thank you, Jordy. Well, thank you for what you do, too. Your support really means a lot. And I'm so happy to have you here again tonight. And so let's go. And, yeah, I hope you're taking home tomorrow. I'll be watching the game while we do all this. So I'll definitely be rooting for Miami. You know me, I'm a Laker fan. I'm not going to root for Boston. But I really respect the Boston Celtics quite a lot. But they ain't looking good. They ain't looking good. Okay, so let's do this. Davey, eat gooder than usual. Thank you, Brendan. This is the last song, but I think that's cool. This is his last song, but I think it's cool. Well, no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just going to try to sneak it in. I don't need a song. I just want to go over and say hi, just to complete the scenario. I'll be at Blink-182. Oh, okay. Oh, great band. Yeah. Enjoy, my friend. Enjoy, Robbie. Okay. Let's start the raid. I don't have any. We're just going to run really quickly here. So I'll see you tomorrow. Birthday stream, 8 o'clock Eastern-ish, maybe earlier, maybe. Thank you so much, everybody. We're going to raid Robbie. We're going to raid HK. Please follow HK when we get there. And we'll see you there. Bye, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye, Ron. Bye. Bye. Oh, thanks for the raid calls, Rahomo. Mod love in the chat, everybody. Mod love, everybody. Mod love.